This content is brought to you by the Layers and Legends Kickstarter, coming in early 2022. Are you a dungeon master looking to reduce your prep time but still run awesome games for your players? Would you like professional pre-made 5th edition adventures, maps, traps, puzzles, magic items, and other resources you can drag and drop into your existing campaign? The Layers and Legends Kickstarter will create 2 gorgeous hardcover books for dungeon masters containing all of this and more. The first book, Layers and Legends, will deliver 25 5th edition compatible adventures spanning levels 1 to 15 and over 100 new terrifying monsters to pit against your players. The second book, Loot and Lore, will deliver 50 magic items, 25 puzzles, 40 traps, 10 factions, 30 standalone encounters with maps, 30 villains, 30 NPCs, 70 random tables, 30 adventure ideas, 20 spells, and 4 subclasses. And through the beauty of Kickstarter and stretch goals, we'll be able to commission beautiful artwork for both books and add even more content. Furthermore, in addition to the hardcovers, you can also get both books in PDF format and a digital map pack containing all the maps from both books. And if you'd like to pick up a hardcover copy of last Kickstarter, Into the Fae, it will be available as an add-on to Layers and Legends. Click the link below to join the Layers and Legends email list and get notified when it goes live in early 2022.
What's up? What's up, people? How's it going? By the way, we need to be quiet during that little shameless plug at the very beginning. So like you were all saying hi Luke and howdy Luke and stuff, and shh, gotta be quiet during that beginning part, right? Ed Robinson, what's up, dude? How you doing? Chris, oh gosh, Chris, what are you doing to me, Chris? Chris, what is this? Okay, this name. Chris Kashkovsky. Kaskovsky. I'm gonna be honest, dude. It looks like ketchup. Would you be deeply offended if we just call you Chris K or Chris Ketchup or something? My pronunciation skills are sorely lacking. I just lost a follower. They're like, you suck, Luke. Goodbye. David Neal, what's up? Mr. Gore, hello. Goliath Cleric, Penguinbot, hi. Robert Young, what's up? Red Shirt, MGGA, that's a long name. I'm just gonna call you Red. All right, welcome, dude. Mr. Owl, hello, how you doing, dude? Alexander Linhose, hello. See, that? Look at that. I can say that last name, Linhose. Linhose is an easy name to pronounce. I have 2 syllables, you know, I have a short I have a long O. It's easy, you know, I can do that. I can handle that. It's beautiful, sorry. Brian Smith, you see Smith? Janelle, hello Janelle. Smith is a very nice last name. Dan Bayer, what's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? Bayer is a good name. We like that name. Tabletop print painting? Well, hello. That's not even a last name, dude. That's like, he did the whole schmeal. He's got his first name, table, middle name, top, and last name, painting. I mean, you got the whole deal. That's sweet, dude. Oh, Mankaz Chiefkey? Mankaz Chief Sky. Oh, Mankaz Chief Sky. I'm sorry, dude. I still suck. Captain Athens, what's up? Jason C, hello. Ferry Vanderord, hello. What's up? That guy, what's up? That guy. We're just gonna call you that. Hello, that. Love your content. It's helped me a lot. That's awesome, dude. Thank you so much, man. I'm happy to help. Alexander Lindhose, it's German and wrong. Oh my God. All right, I'm lost then. Sorry. Ich kann das nicht sagen. No, sagen. Ich kann das nicht sagen. Entschuldigung. Es tut mir leid, aber mein Deutsch ist sehr schlecht. That's all I got, buddy. I'm sorry. Sorry I screwed your name up. Can't do it. I took a bunch of German in college, but I can't really do much right now. That's all I got. Ich möchte ein Bier und ein Stück Käse, bitte. That's all I got. That's 80% of my German vocabulary at this point. That's all I got, buddy. I'm sorry. Gilherm Salem, what's up, dude? First timers. Ooh, first timers. Ooh. I went to Luke's stream for the first time. I'm never going back. I was traumatized.
It was horrible. just try to relax. Alexander Fraser, thank you, dude. I so appreciate that. Thank you, buddy. Little guy, Ed, get your butt to Michigan and get your cat, okay? He needs his belly rubbed all the time, and we're frankly getting sick of being a slave to rubbing his belly. What do you want? It's not snack time yet. Look at this guy. Look at him. He just wants attention. Hey, it's not snack time. No, you have to wait. You have to wait. This little guy. Oh, cat. Hi, Luke. Just ate a sandwich. Well, thank you. You're gonna make us start looking at sandwiches at the very beginning of the stream. You keep that up. Oh man, delicious sandwiches. That's not a bad way to start a stream, probably. Das ist wunderschön. Well, thank you. My German, bathroom, beer, and bed. I don't know how to say bathroom nor bed. I don't think in German. Josue, what's up, Josue? I can say Josue because I speak Spanish. Yeah.
Yo hablo un poquito de español. Me cuesta mucho, pero me encanta el idioma. Me gusta hablar español. Yo hablo español con mis gatitos. Yo hablo español con mi perrito. Yo hablo español con todo el mundo porque me encanta hablar español. Y me cae muy bien el lenguaje y todo eso. Así que muchas gracias por venir a mi live stream. That's it. Holy crap, the cats are swarming. It's not snack time. They have to wait a while. No. Dungeon Coach, get the heck out of my stream. Alan, goodbye. Get gone. Thank you. All right, you know what? I'm gonna confess. Flag on the stream. We were behind the attack on your Discord. My moderators orchestrated the entire attack. It was beautiful. We brought your Discord to its knees. I love it. Yeah. Brian Smith says, I've lost my mind. Cat understands Spanish through telenovelas and Italian. Very nice. I love telenovelas. Dude, Spanish soap operas, telenovelas are so much better than the garbage we have on English television. Like, seriously, I go to the gym like a lot. And they have these big TVs up where you can like watch TV while you're on the treadmill. I always have audiobooks going on. Like I listen to like business content and stuff. But they always have these screens on. And one of the screens is, I think it's like CBS. And there is this soap opera on. Like I always go about the same time. And so I think I catch the exact same soap opera almost every day when I'm doing my cardio. And it's always the exact same thing. It's got like, there's always a shirtless guy and like the same shirtless guy. It's like they hired him to take his shirt off for the soap opera. And he's usually in bed with a girl, you know. And now there's another shirtless guy that I've been noticing too. It's like they hire, it's just amazing. You know, it's like no matter how many times you see the soap opera, it's the same thing. That same guy doesn't have a shirt on and he's trying to, or either he has just, or he's trying to, you know, get a girl or something. It's like, okay, this is what the soap operas are all about. Over and over and over, every single day. No matter when you show up, it's the same thing. So yeah, English soap operas suck. Jeffrey Bell, thank you so much for the $20 super chat, dude. I appreciate that. Was rewatching the last live and senior cats are rechuses. I don't know what a rechuse is. Are rechuses too. Well, thank you. I appreciate my kitties. My kitties are rechuses. Thank you. I do appreciate the super chat. We had a new member too. Who was the new member? I missed that. Seth C, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that, dude. As a reminder, members do get priorities in the questions that we answer. My moderators will put it in the spreadsheet and stuff. Yeah. I gotta get my coffee. All right, I'm gonna get my coffee and then we're gonna begin. How's that sound? Is that approved? Are we okay with that? Yeah.
Got 5 cats to my left and a dog to my right. The wonderful life. There we go. We got the coffee. All right, we should get this show on the road here. All right, let's find some buttons. Let's find some buttons to click. Here we go. Woo! Yeah, look at that. The flames, they explode into my layer, my brand logo. Oh, it's so beautiful. All right, here we go. All right, hello, welcome. Hi, live stream time. I am Luke. I am your host. Welcome to the DM Lair live stream. We're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons tonight. And we have a wonderful show lined up for you as well. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to chill. We're going to answer questions and stuff. It's going to be fun. I'll probably rant about some really spicy stuff. We have a video we're going to watch. We're going to watch a video on stream. It's going to be great. It's going to be like a little bit of a popcorn moment and stuff. We're going to make fun of Wizards of the Coast. It's going to be it's going to be beautiful. We're really going to enjoy tonight. Let me tell you. My cat needs attention down here. So anyway, if you're catching this on the replay, there should be timestamps down below where you can, see the questions and skip ahead to the stuff you want to listen to the most, or you can just listen to the whole thing because, my voice is soothing and my face is mildly attractive. I don't know. But anyway, there's like timestamps down below. And by the way, last stream, timestamps got broken and stuff, and there were a couple people that made the timestamps for us, and very, very appreciative. Thank you so much for the 2 people that did that. I really appreciate that. That was a lot of work. So we're gonna talk about stuff. We're doing Q&A tonight, and then we gotta do some cat hair flying all around me. We gotta do some sleazy plugs before we get into things. All right, my list of sleazy plugs. Okay, first sleazy plug. We are currently raising money for a charity. So let's go over here to this screen right here. Canines for Warriors. These dudes are awesome. They help provide service dogs for veterans who are suffering from PTSD, traumatic brain injury, and other sorts of trauma. So we are at, I believe, $290 raised thus far for Canines for Warriors. And we're trying to get to $500. Once we get to $500, we make a donation to them. Because that's what we do. We've donated to many, many charities on stream, and it's beautiful. I love being able to help deserving folks who are doing really cool stuff in our world. So if you would like to donate, you're welcome to do so. All tips, 100% of all tips go directly to the charity that we're currently supporting in the stream, which tonight is Canine for Warriors. And it will be Canines for Warriors until we get to $500. So all tips go right to them. I don't take anything off the top. My cats do not get kitty treats out of your tips. It all goes right to the charity. Yeah, that's how it works. I'm trying to pet cats while I talk to you because they're very insistent down here. Next thing is our giveaway. Yes, we have a giveaway because we pretty much do a giveaway every single live stream. It's a D&D book of your choice, or you can get credit on the DM Lair store where you can get lots of wonderful, fine products such as the Into the Fae Kickstarter that we did some time ago. You can get back issues of Lair magazine. You can get map packs. You can get standalone adventures. You can get a brand new car. Penguin Butt, I'm going to need you to make that happen. So please figure out how we're going to get people a brand new car. That is your new high priority task. Add something to your Trello board and figure it out. Thank you. Usually I don't, give you work on the live stream, but just made a promise off the top of my head. Wasn't planning on doing that. And now we got to figure out a way to do it. And so that's on you. Thank you. All right. Anything else we got going on here? Penguin Butt's right now having a panic attack. Sorry. Yes, Owen. Owen, you could win a new car. Hot Wheels, yes. Goliath Cleric. Shh. We're not supposed to be giving away the secrets on the stream. You give away the secrets behind the scenes so that the one person who won the brand new car can be all like, ah! upset at us, they can go on Twitter to their like 2 followers and complain. But nobody knows about it. But now, since you just said it on the live stream, everybody knows that it's a sham. The giveaway is a sham. Anyway, there's a link in the chat somewhere where you can enter the giveaway that apparently is a sham now. This has been a wonderful live stream so far. All right, last thing, my mom's calling me. Dude, seriously, my mom's calling me. Here we go, guys. Here we go. On stream, my mom. Conversation with my mom. Hold on. Hello, Mom.
Yes, I know you're streaming.
Yep.
But did she call, Lisa?
Yep. We left a message with her. Haven't heard back from her yet.
Oh, okay. Well, she'll probably call you tomorrow then.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Mom.
All right. Goodbye.
Wait, hold on. Ed says hi. Hi, Luke's mom. Aaron Floyd says hi, Luke's mom. Mr. Gore says hi. Nixit and Kat say hi.
Okay.
Like, Amber says hi.
Tell everybody I said hello.
Ted says hi too.
Yeah. All right. Tell
Okay.
everybody I said hello.
Penguin Butt says hi.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too. Bye. Oh, that's fun. This is the only one person that calls me in the world, and it's my mom, and it's always on live stream. Okay, what were we doing? I told you tonight was going to be fun. All right, we were doing something. Oh yes, we were going to thank all of our wonderful patrons. All of the awesome people that help make everything we do possible. Okay, so basically, the DM layer, which is me, my team, my moderators, I have a publication team, moderators, we have freelance writers, lots of awesome people go into creating. I have editors, graphic designers, we have an entire team of people that go into and contribute to creating all of the amazing content that we create for the D&D community. From videos to our publications, from the free resources on the dmlayer.com to Lair magazine, our premium publication. So lots of people on the team, lots of hard work, lots of talent go into creating all of these resources for you guys. And our patrons directly support that. And so I'm so very appreciative to all of these people here. You can see a bunch of names on screen. These people all support that content. I love these people. They're awesome. So very big thank you to all of my patrons. And then the next screen here, these patrons here support even more, which means they give more money. So they get their names read off on stream. And here we go with Luke's horrible pronunciation problems. One day I'm just gonna, yeah. Anyway, here we go. 5e Magic Shop, Aerospatial, Alex H, Alex T, Amanda W, Ambers, Andrew M, Andy S, Anthony M, Antoine B, Arutha Baldwin, Benjamin B, Blinking Duck, Brad A, Brandon A, Celestina K, Chase O, Chris and Michelle K, Chris C, Chris E, Cody B, Colton I don't know, Connor A, Contrary Gravy, Corey S, Damage Dice, Drexus, Dresna, Dutch. Holy crap, encore call from my mom. Nope, it's not. There's this person from Fowlerville who keeps on calling me. They've called me like twice a day for the last several days, and I'm not answering the phone, Fowlerville. Leave a message. I don't know who you are. Leave a message. It's easy. Anyway, sorry. I don't know where I was. Ed R, Edward L, Ericos, Frog, Goliath Cleric, Gravy Chorn, Guromunder H, Ian F, Iron Lord 79, it's Beoban, Izzy T, Jacob S, Jake L, Jacob K, James L, Jens K, Jeremy W, Jessica L, Joe L, John A, Joku W, Joseph H, Josh S, Joshua M, Justin P, Kale S, KK, Keith L, Kevin F, Kevin O, Kazides Kirby, Kyle G, Kyle M, Labraworks, Leopold Nexel 92, Lionheart, Lodwick B, Matt T, Matt N, Mr. Lon Canoe, Mr. T, Neo, Nikitita S, sorry, Owen D, Paul H, Penguin Butt, Pierre P, published author, Radiance Guardians, Ramus, Razlik, Race W, Renner C, Rob M, Robert C, Robin O, Ron R, Ron, Ronald, Ryan, Sakura, Scott F, Shane L, Snapdragger, Son of a Sofa Man, New Little Soul Naya,
Set Us Alive. Stephen T. We still don't know what that's supposed to be. I'm sorry, it's a PH. I don't know. Stephen A. Tactical Tokens, Talking Napkin, The Three Quarters Hospital, The Old DM, The Pickle, The Casual Nerd, The New Bad Hombre, Thomas T, Tiger 500, Tim Black, Tom C, Tony M, Travelin' Cash, Tristan W, Tyler R, Vincent G, Will M, X Red Drum, Zoot Suits. Thank you. You're all awesome. Appreciate it. You know, for the longest time, you know the spelling of Sean that is S-E-A-N? For the longest time, I pronounced that scene. I was like, that is the word scene. I mean, like, it's the name scene. It's supposed to be Sean, obviously. But I was like, no, that's scene. Like, I don't know who named their kid Scene, but that's weird. But okay. And then, you know, when I was like older, 30 or something, I figured it out, you know? So, yeah. Boss Battle Productions says, I was promised bacon. Yeah, you know what? The funniest thing, there's like a worldwide shortage of lots of commodities right now. We're short on paper, we're short on bacon, shipping is an issue. There's a supply chain problem and crisis. You know, we're short on cardboard boxes, running out of containers, like, you know, the ocean faring containers for shipping, lots of shortages around here. And apparently millions of pigs have disappeared. It was like the rapture for pigs. They're gone. So there's no bacon tonight. Please address all of your complaints to Penguin Butt. She will be happy to field them. She's amazing. Her email is, okay, I won't give your email. She's like, no. There literally is a shortage. There's a paper shortage. Yes, literally a paper shortage. Crap you not. That's why my Into the Fae books, the publishing of them was delayed so much. Literally printing companies were shutting down. They were closing doors because they couldn't make enough money. Like there was a problem. You know, you have folks who are demanding certain wages, and then you know, so you have the overhead on your business, and then you have like the actual profit margin is so small that at some point you're just like, you know what, close doors, no jobs for anybody, and we're just gonna shut the business down. And so lots of printers were just folding, they're just going under, and then that puts more demand on the printers that are still up, you know. And then also people who created paper, so there's a printing problem, but also people who were making paper, there got to a point to be we're creating like carton for cardboard boxes because shipping and other types of paper was more lucrative than creating premium paper used for printing books. And so people who made paper were shifting away from printing book paper, and they were shifting toward printing like cardboard boxes and other types of paper products and stuff because, you know, it's more lucrative. Why wouldn't you do that? It makes sense. That's what businesses do. And then on top of that, what was the other problem they had that compounded everything? It was the printers, it was the paper shortages. And then because of, like, you know, pandemic and people being required to stay at home and stuff, like people were reading more, and lots of people like physical books, you know, so there was a higher demand for physical books. And so, you know, you have like law and demand, supply and demand, and all this crap going on. And so, yeah, problems caused. But the good news is, at the end, when the smoke is cleared, the Into the Fae books have all been printed, and they are sitting in my fulfillment partner's warehouse down in Florida. All 1,575 books are down there. According to their email and the receiving invoice they sent me, they're all sitting down there, and they are finalizing things right now to be able to start fulfillment. So they're telling me March is when they're going to start shipping stuff. I'm hoping they just do it sooner because, yeah. But anyway, they have all the stuffs, and that will begin very soon. Which means, of course, that we're going to be able to start our next Kickstarter, not Into the Fae, Layers and Legends, which is going to be amazing. So yeah, that's going to be cool. I'm excited for that stuff. Tyler says, let's go, Brandon. Tyler, what does that mean? What does that mean? We should Google that. Hi, Tyler. You're cool. All right. Ed Robinson tipped $25. Thank you so much, Ed Robinson. I appreciate that, dude. Matthew Watson, thank you for becoming a member, man. I appreciate that. By the way, Ed's $25 tip goes toward Canines for Warriors, the charity that we're currently raising money for. So very, very appreciative of that. I appreciative that a lot. Their Mixer 9000, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that. As a reminder, members get priority in their questions. Do appreciate that. And then I see your super chat, Matthew. Thank you for the 715 super chat. I'll get to your question in just a moment. Wonderful. Yay. All right. I think I got through all that stuff. Penguin Bus says, Luke, don't Google it. Don't Google it. Let's go Google that. Let's find out what that means. Political posting will get you banned. Yeah, we should not talk about politics. People don't like politics. Let's talk about killing characters and killing monsters, and let's talk about blood, death, and mayhem. Sounds so much more relaxing. Shazar, what's up, dude? No, don't Google that. Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's pick some questions. When your players make a perception check of a room, do you reveal everything in the room if their check is high enough, or only what they asked to look for? No, usually if somebody says I look through the room, perception check, and they roll high enough, then I'm just gonna tell them what they find. Even if it's like under the mattress, inside you find, I'm gonna tell them, because I want there to be the exploration pillar of Dungeons and Dragons. I want people to poke around and look and be rewarded when they find stuff. But there's a fine line between allowing that and embracing that and dragging it out so that the exploration pillar becomes a slog, where it's like, okay, I searched the chair, perception check, didn't find anything. I searched the table, perception check, you didn't find anything. Wait. Where on the table do you search? I searched one of the legs to see if it's hollowed out or anything. Perception check. Okay, you searched the left rear leg. Okay, let's do the front rear leg. Perception check. Didn't find anything. Okay, let's do let's do one of the other legs. Perception check. Didn't find anything. Okay. The last leg. Let's look at the last leg. Tell me what's in the last leg. Perception check. Ah, you found gold pieces up in the hollowed out leg. Oh, yes. Okay, that's awesome. There are 2 more tables in that room. No! You see, you can take a really cool element of the game, exploration, poking around, finding cool stuff, getting that payoff, getting that reward, and feeling cool, and you can turn it into a slog when you just go too far. And so we want to avoid going too far. You know, have something cool, but you don't want to go like, does that make sense? Yeah. I gave like the talkie explanation, and then I just used sound effects for those who didn't understand the first talkie explanation. It's like the what do you call it? It's like the subtitles, you know. for those who needed subtitles, there's your subtitles. I actually put subtitles on half of my videos. I pay people to make subtitles for my videos to make them easier for people to read and crap and understand and whatnot. Yeah. All right. How many encounters do I need for a one-shot adventure? Probably about 3. It's all you really need. Probably a social interaction. Maybe 2 that are likely to be combat encounters. And then you probably want to have some sort of exploration, maybe a trap or a puzzle or something. That's it. If you want to get out of there in 4 hours, you do more than that, you're not getting out of there in 4 hours. Your one shot's becoming a 2-shot, or it's going to last 6 hours or longer. You really got time for a social interaction, probably 2 combats, and that, which, I mean, they're encounters, so they may or may not be combats, but come on, it's Dungeons and Dragons. They're going to fight, almost assuredly. And then you want to have some exploration, trap or puzzle or something. That's really all you got time for in a one shot, in my opinion. And the other key thing for a one shot is getting people into the dungeon. You really want to get them into the dungeon or the location-based adventure area, wherever it happens to be, quickly.
if you start out in town, oh my gosh, you just blew it. You're gonna start your one shot in town? You know what they're gonna do in town? Well, let's talk to the NPC quest giver some more. But I sent you the information, guys, about what the mission was. Yeah, but we want to talk to the NPC quest giver some more. We want to make sure we get any clues and stuff. We want to make sure we really squeeze them for information. Okay. There's a half hour or more. And then they're like, well, you know what? We're in town. So does anybody need to go shopping? Did you get enough potions or something? Or hey, you know what? Actually, it sounds like we might be fighting werewolves or something, so we should go get some silvered weapons. Let's go on a little shopping trip while we're here in town. Well, there's another half hour or more gone. Just talking to the NPC quest giver, getting information that they already had, and then going shopping. So you're one shot, and then they travel to the adventure location. And now you're actually into the meat of the adventure, that you have planned out. And it took them an hour and a half to just get there. Right? So my recommendation for one shots is in the dungeon. They start in the dungeon or castle or wherever your adventure takes place. Almost every adventure run in Dungeons and Dragons is what we call a location-based adventure. So start them there. Send them before the game begins, probably maybe a half hour or so before. It's a one shot, so presumably they're making their characters just for that game. You want to avoid sending them a bunch of backstory information about the adventure too far in advance, because then, some people are filthy metagamers and they're going to use that background information to inform their character creation. And you're going to be like, well, and they're going to be like, it sounds like we might be dealing with lycanthropes. I should make sure I get some silvered weapons. Yeah. So to avoid that, send them the backstory information maybe a half hour before the game starts, or if you're playing in person, you give them a handout at the table and say, hey, read this. This is your backstory information. It contains the information you need to run the game, and it has your missions and goals. These are your objectives listed. There they are. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, cool. Now you guys all start out inside the castle. You've just come in and the room looks like this. What do? So you give them the information, you put them in that castle, and you start playing. And that's been accomplished in the first 10 minutes and you're playing the game. So that's another recommendation for one shots. Get the action going quickly, right? Before, otherwise, problems. All right. Cool. Thank you. Oh, I had super chats. I was supposed to answer super chats. I'm sorry. I'm a bad person. Matthew says, I am about to run Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Do you have any tips? Yes, I have some tips for you. First of all, the maps in there are ginormous. They're just huge, big maps. So if you're running it online, buy the module on Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds or wherever. Trust me, if you're running it online, just spend the $20, buy the module, it gives you the maps, and you don't have to goof with it. And it's gonna make your life easier. If you're running it in person, then that's a moot point. So prepare yourself for the big maps, and I would not draw out all of those maps like at scale so they can move their minis around those maps. That would just be completely unrunnable as a game. I would draw out a little mini map on a little piece of paper like this. Just take a piece of paper and then sketch out the dungeon as they're walking along it, so they have a map, they have a physical thing they can see, but everything is theater of the mind until you get to until an encounter. Let me say that again. Until a combat actually starts, and then put everything on the grid and minis, and put their minis on the board and stuff, and run the combat. Otherwise, theater of the mind, or you'll go nuts with these big maps. Second thing I recommend to you is, there is no real motivation for characters to go into that mega dungeon. Zero. Now, the module gives you like a few tiny plot hooks that are really not satisfying. They kind of are stupid. Like, one of the plot hooks is like, on level 6, there's blah, 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 blah. And then you're like, okay, so we're supposed to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. And then on level 6, we find the thing we're looking for. So the module is light on plot hooks. It's light on reasons your characters would go into the dungeon. And I don't fault them a whole lot for that, because honestly, that's pretty easy for a dungeon master to come up with. So, but my recommendation to you is come up with that plot hook. Come up with that reason that they want to go into that mega dungeon. So you're going to have to do that. If you don't, your players slash characters are going to be like, why are we even going into this dungeon? Because it's a dungeon. Because it's there. Like, what other reason do you need? Dungeon, go in, loots, monsters, glory. You know, like if it were like 20 years ago, maybe that would be sufficient motivation. But these days we like to have a little bit more of like actual real roleplay story reason to go into a dungeon. So you're going to want to supply that. I don't fault the module again. I think that's fine. It's easy to come up with. It's your creativity. You figure it out. Things that appeal to your players, what they would want to do. It's cool. The third thing that I recommend for you, and this is optional, but the whole idea of a mega dungeon where you just keep going all the way to the bottom, it could work for the right group, but a different way to run that so that it doesn't feel like you're just constantly going down to the level 3 and then we're going back to town, going back down to level 3, going back to town. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe that fast travel. Definitely use fast travel. You know, bring some Skyrim in, do some fast travel. But also, what you could do, this is a thought I've had as well. If I ever run Dungeons Mad Mage for a group, is each of those levels. There's nothing that says that it has to be one mega dungeon where each level is below the next. An entire level could be over here on the continent. And then another level could be located, you know, a few miles away. Another level could be located way to the north. And so you could literally take each of the levels in Dungeons Mad Mage and turn it into its own separate adventure that's located in a different part of your world. And those levels, again, are huge, and they could easily be their own separate adventure. Of course, we're back to you having to create plot hooks, reasons for your characters to go there. That's fine. You know, that's like 5 minutes of thinking compared to like creating the entire adventure yourself. So it's not that big of a deal. So anyway, those are 3, I think, tips for you if you're running Dungeons Mad Mage. And I think I got that one. All right, cool. We have any more? Here we go. Mr. Gore, thank you, sir, for being a member. I really appreciate that. And your question is, I think I may be developing a bit of DM burnout. Apart from speaking to my players, yeah. Speaking to your players, make your players run the game for you. Just be like, hey, let's go. I'm a little excited tonight. What suggestions do you have for combating the condition? I have felt DM burnout before. I have felt it before. I think I've had two different reactions to DM burnout. My first reaction to DM burnout was that I just canceled the game. Oh, Luke, that's great. Just cancel the game. No, not necessarily. There's another way to go about it too. But I had a game where we were playing every week. It was only an hour long, not a big deal necessarily, but it was every week, which means every week I'm prepping and doing some stuff and then running a game. So, you know, and it's only an hour long, so not a whole lot happens. I don't like hour-long games. I would much rather run a 4-hour game once a month than run a 1-hour game every week. But anyway, it was what it was for reasons. And I could just feel that I was not enjoying the game a whole lot. Sometimes I was, but sometimes I wasn't. But more than that, every time I played that game, it felt like work to me. It felt like I was working, you know, like punching the clock and then working, and then it was like, and every time that Friday came along, I was like, oh, we got a game today. Like when you are like, as the dungeon master, or even a player, but especially the dungeon master, if it's game day and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this today, and it's like that week after week after week, you know you have a problem. You know, and it wasn't my players. My players were wonderful. I had no problem. Some of my players playing other games with me. I love my players in that game. Nothing to do with the players, but it was just my heart was not in that game. And I realized that, you know, I just don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to. I was running four games at the time, 4 games on top of my YouTube channel and everything else I do. And I was like, this is too much. And my heart wasn't in it. And I was like, you know what? This game is going to have to go bye-bye. And so that game got canceled. And, you know, so that was, I was definitely experiencing burnout for that game. It was way too much. And I had to get rid of it. And so that went bye-bye. So that is one possible reaction if you're feeling burned out. Now, you, instead of canceling it, I could have said, you know, hey, maybe somebody else is the DM for a while. But the honest truth for me in that particular moment was I didn't have the time for it. I literally did not have the time. Even if somebody else was the dungeon master, like I needed that time back. Like time on my calendar is super precious. I hate meetings. I hate scheduled meetings. I hate it because I have to schedule my day around a certain time block for a meeting, you know? And so even if somebody else was running it, it would have been that time block where I can't do anything else. I have to make sure So anyway, the right answer for me in that moment ended up being canceling it, but somebody else could have maybe run the game. So that was my first response for DM burnout. I'm trying to think about the other times that I had DM burnout and what I did. I think sometimes taking a break has helped me. Many times when I feel burnout, it's because I'm overburdened, I have too much to do, and I'm stressed out. And that stress makes preparing for a game feel like work. And I try to do it quickly and get it done and then just go to the game. And it starts to feel like work, but it's because I have too much on my plate. And so sometimes just taking a break will help with that. And just not running the game for a little bit. I'm talking like maybe 1 game session or 2 game sessions. You just be like, hey guys, I need a break. I just need to relax. I need to not run the game for just a couple sessions. You take a break. And I think that has helped me personally with DM burnout. Something else that I think helps me with burnout too is, this is gonna sound weird maybe, but reading the books for whatever reason. Like, I don't know what it is, but when I pick, like right now, for instance, I'm reading through Icewind Dale, and maybe there might be a group that I run once a month based on this book. If there's one dude who's trying to get some players together, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I'm reading through this book, and for whatever reason, when I just read the book and sit down literally and read the book, it energizes me. It gets me excited. It makes me want to play the game. It makes me, in this case, it makes me want to run this adventure, but it just makes me excited about the game. It might be flipping through the monster manual or other things. And for whatever reason, reading the books and flipping through it and stuff, it makes me more excited about the game. It does, for whatever reason. Now, so those are like 3 different responses I have personally used that have helped me with DM burnout. But I think those things are personal, and I think that it might vary from person to person. So the answer to what helps me through might not be the right answer for you. And for you, it might be reading fantasy books, or it might be, you know, watching Walking Dead or watching Game of Thrones or something that's going to, you're stepping away a little bit from the actual act of preparing and running a game, but you're still kind of filling your mind and consciousness with elements that are kind of related to the game or gameplay, you know. And so that kind of, maybe you take a little bit of a break, but you're kind of stoking your flames as well. So it's not just take a break and let the hearth go cold. It's take a break, but stoke the flames, you know, see if we can get those flames back up again. And so those are some things I would suggest trying, but those answers might not be right for you. Anyway, there you go. There's some words for you. Are the timestamps working? Moderators, Goliath Cleric, can you confirm? Are these timestamps working, or are we in trouble tonight? Peak D&D, hello. You know, Peak D&D, we were waiting for you. We were waiting here for a half an hour for you to show up. We weren't going to start the stream without you. And yeah, so yeah,
Yeah, next time, if you could be on time, we would appreciate it. Man, Stream Elements is doing its stuff backwards. So, Stream Elements needs to learn how to do its job. All right, we're going to get to that. Okay. Mr. Gore, thank you. Ribs, dry rub or sauce? Marinate. My wife does a marinade for all the meat that I cook on the barbecue, on the grill. She marinades everything. So no dry rub, and we don't use a sauce either. She marinades it, and I cook it on the grill, and it's delicious. Delicious, delicious, delicious. Sometimes I'll put spicy mustard or maybe barbecue sauce, but I'm honestly trying to get away from both barbecue sauce and ketchup. Those two condiments are horrible. Like, have you looked at the ingredients in barbecue sauce and ketchup? Like, the first ingredient is high fructose corn syrup. It's like, it's a diabetes bomb. So yeah, I'm trying to stay away from barbecue sauce and ketchup. There's a reason those things taste so good. They're just full of sugar. It's just horrible for you. So anyway, but spicy mustard, we'd put some of that on there maybe. What would you say to people who think D&D is witchcraft? You're a moron. Literally, that's what I would say. I'd probably just walk away. Sorry. Goliath Cleric, thank you for being a member, dude. I appreciate that. Which is going to be better, Morning Canaan's Monsters or Tome of Beasts 3? And why is it Tome of Beasts? Are you kidding me? Because Tome of Beasts 3 has, drumroll, new monsters that haven't already been published. Talking about the train wreck that is Morning Canaan's Monsters. What is it? What is it? Masters of the Universe? Is it that Morning Canaan's He-Man Masters of the Universe? I forget what it's called. It has an actual name that I keep getting confused with, like He-Man. So it's like Masters of the Universe, Monsters of the Universe, Monsters of the Multiverse. It reminds me of He-Man. Yeah, I don't know. Monsters of the Multiverse. It's totally like Masters of the Universe. It's totally like He-Man. Does Hasbro do He-Man? Who did He-Man? Who did the He-Man franchise? Was that Hasbro? Is it totally Penguin Butt? Oh, Penguin Butt, goodbye. I hope you come back. Who did He-Man? Come on, somebody help me. Somebody do a Google search for me. Google it for me. Because I'm lazy. Who made He-Man? Hasbro? Okay, cool. Yeah, Monsters of the Multiverse is totally just He-Man reskinned. It's actually all the other monsters reskinned. They're just totally pulling a fast one on us, is what they're doing. Tyler, thank you for the $5 super chat, dude. I appreciate that. All right. What are your thoughts on the new Morning Canaan book? Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, everybody's like, Luke, what do you think about the new Morning Canaan's book? Luke. Okay, well, you know what? I have a better idea. We're gonna watch a video by a buddy of mine. Actually, he's a cool guy. He's not technically my buddy, but I like him. We're gonna watch a little video together that shows exactly a little something about Morning Canaan's Monsters of the Multiverse. Okay, brace yourselves. All right, hold on. I'm gonna pause my music. All right, this right here is, let's go to theater mode. This is Bob the World Builder. Is it Bob World Builder? It's Bob World Builder. He's a cool guy. I like him. We're gonna watch one of his videos here. He did a video today that is amazing, absolutely amazing. I love this crap. This guy's awesome. So check this out. We're gonna watch this. I'm gonna have to give you a little bit of commentary for fair use purposes. You know, you'll have to just deal with me talking and stuff. Here we go. Check this crap out.
Oh, hey Watsy, what's up? Hey, not much, just publishing some books. New book.
No. New books? Nah, not new books. Come on, don't get excited.
Like what? Let me see. Well, I know how much you like Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Yeah, I definitely do. And I hear you're a pretty big fan of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Totally. Oh my gosh, that's one of my favorites. And I know you
Yeah, I personally am not a fan of Tasha's Cauldron of Garbage. Everything.
like Volo's Guide and Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. Yes, yeah, those are all great. All right. So then you are going to love this.
Those 4 books have already been published, ladies and gentlemen. But Wizards of the Coast is going to give them to us again. Because we're going to buy them again, apparently.
That's the books you named. Yeah, look at them. They're all together now. It's a set. Woo! But I already have those books. Well, now the monster stat blocks are streamlined.
They're streamlined. Yeah, they are.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know how all those spell casting monsters were like impossible to use?
Yeah, they were really hard to use. I have to read the spells. Oh my word, I have to read the spells before I run the game. Oh, it's hard.
I mean, yeah, it could have been better. Streamlined. Okay. Thanks.
I love the little like cough and pause, the nervous little like, okay, thanks.
Is that it? Well, and alignment. Oh, you changed alignment? Yes. Now all the monster alignments say typically, so you won't feel like you have to use it.
Typically. Hello! It's in the very beginning of the monster manual. It literally says in the alignment section that this is typically the normal alignments, but not always. It's already in the book. So, but they put it in every single stat block? Really? Wow. It's just like that.
We don't. Oh, well, we don't really use it. You don't use it?
No. Yeah, nobody really uses alignment. That's the kicker. Alignment is the vestigial organ of D&D. And yet people apparently are like going nuts on it in social media. You know, the what do you want to call it? The vocal minority freaking out about things that nobody even really uses. But there you go. Now we're changing it.
Okay. Is there anything else? There's a lot of races in here. Okay. From other books. Got it. There's some changes though. Yeah. Are people supposed to buy this?
No, that's the thing. They're actually not. And I'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah. Hasbro's gonna be pissed.
They're actually not going to be pissed, and I'll explain that in a second, too.
Clever transition to the sponsor.
And this is where your audience retention plummets, my good friend. But anyway, because you put the sponsor at the end, people are going to like click off. That's just the way it works. Excellent skit. I love that crap. Okay, so let's talk about a couple things. Oh, I'll get that off my head. I don't like wearing headphones when I stream. There are people that wear headphones the entire time they stream. I don't get it. I can't do it. All right, there were a couple things I wanted to rant about. There were 2 things. One, he was like, are people supposed to buy this? And then the WotC, the wizard, was like, yes. No, that's not why this is being published, ladies and gentlemen. That's not actually why this is being published. This is being published for completely different reasons than we want you to buy a book. What are the terms? It's, I don't know. There are some buzzwords like performance activism and what's the other one? Virtue signaling and stuff like that. It could just be damage control. It could be a reaction to the vocal minority on social media that freaks out about things, you know, that most normal people just are like, whatever to. But there are definite reasons that this is being published that have very little to do with actually wanting to sell the books. It is you could call it a political move or a social move or something, however you want to term it. I don't know. But they're doing this for reasons that aren't actually have to do with revenue and sales. Now, there are going to be some people that don't have Tashas and Xanathars and Volos and Morning Canaans, and maybe they'll just buy them all of them in that bundle. But most people who understand what's in that new bundle are going to be like, I already have 2 of those books. Why would I buy 2 again just to get the other ones? Which I would just buy the other ones. That bundle doesn't make any sense to me. Like, from a marketing, I don't get it. Like, I don't know. I'm not a multi-billion-dollar company, so maybe I don't understand stuff. But it doesn't seem like that product is being made for actual sales. There's other reasons it's being made. That's my feeling on it. The other thing where the guy is like, Hasbro's gonna be pissed. Well, no, actually not, because this is something I learned in my reading. Actually, I get a report that tells me stuff. Hasbro apparently, I think it was the CEO of Wizards of the Coast has now become like the head of Hasbro because Wizards of the Coast was amazingly lucrative and made piles of cash over the last couple of years. And so, of course, in the corporate world, this is what happens when you are the CEO of a company that makes piles of cash. You get promotions and stuff, And so now he's going to be the leader of Hasbro. That's what I read. If I'm wrong, somebody please correct me. And so actually, there's nothing going to happen there because the dude in charge of Hasbro is the dude who was like, yes, publish that 4-book bundle. Whee! So there's not going to be any fallout from that. The Hasbro is going to be pretty fine with that because it's got new management. That's my understanding. Yes, the head of Wizards of the Coast is now chief of Hasbro. Yeah, it's in my opinion, it's totally it's performative activism. It's virtue signaling. It's all of those things. It's all kind of wrapped into there. It is. You can't. How else can you justify a company doing that? It's just like, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. When something smells fishy, there's fish rotting somewhere. It's just the way it is usually. I had another point too I was going to make about that whole thing, that book. What was it? So we got the alignment stuff in there, the streamlined stat blocks with the magic and stuff. And then we have, what else did they bake into there? They had Tasha's and stuff in there, Mordecai's, Volos and stuff. Oh, that's right. That's right. The other thing that I thought was kind of funny. You guys remember Strixhaven? Yeah, Strixhaven, I don't think the sales did very well on Strixhaven. There are some people that I know, they got emails from certain companies asking them to do entire videos plugging Strixhaven. Emails were received requesting this sort of service to create entire videos plugging Strixhaven. And some people said no to those emails, and it seems like other people said yes to those emails and made said videos plugging Strixhaven or other sorts of communications and stuff like that. So my thought is, I wonder if when He-Man Masters of the Universe comes out, if when it does very poorly in sales, if some people will get similar emails asking them to do dedicated videos or other communications, plugging that product so that it would sell better. Of course, the difference is, I think, that Strixhaven came out toward the end of 2021, and in the corporate world, there's always a big push to get your year-end sales very high. You always want to sell tons of stuff toward the end of the year, and also, ignore your accounts payable for a little bit. You want to ignore your bills until the beginning of the year, get all the sales in you can, but not pay the bills until like after the first of the year, because it makes your books look a lot better. It makes your books look because in the corporate world, it's all about the numbers and the books and the reporting. That's what they look at. That's the important stuff, so if you can play around with things and and it makes you look better. So with Strixhaven, at the end of the year, you know, if it didn't sell very well, that's going to make, you know, that quarter could look bad. It could affect your year potentially. So you really want to boost those sales. Now, in this case, of course, you know, He-Man Masters of the Universe is going to be coming out. Is it out now? When did it come out? Is it out already? I don't know. Anyway, it's coming out this year, I think. I don't even pay attention to it. When I learned what was actually in it, I lost all interest. So I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't care about that. So I don't know when it's actually coming out. Is it out? The coffee's out. My coffee's out. Is Masters of the Universe out yet? When is He-Man scheduled for release? Does anybody know? Strixhaven was the Christmas book gift from people who didn't know D&D, but their kids asked for a D&D book. When does Masters of the Universe come out? Independent releases in May? May? Really? Oh, the bundle is already out. Oh, the single book comes out in May. Isn't that clever? That is so clever. The bundle is now, so if you can't wait, you spend a bunch of money to get books you already have. But we'll give you the single book in May. That is a very clever way to do those sales, that marketing. That's very clever. Maximize value extraction is what that is in the corporate world. It's a very beautiful thing. All right, probably not really. All right, we're at the top of the hour. So that's very nice. I know we have a whole bunch of other videos here. Not videos. We have a bunch of questions here. We're gonna get to. I see a whole bunch of super chats. I'm gonna thank people. We're gonna get to your super chat questions. I see some member questions too. Oh my gosh, I'm really behind. So I'm gonna thank all of you, and then we'll get your questions. Hold on a second. I gotta find everybody. Ben Falstrom, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that, dude. Jaden M, thank you for the $10 super chat. We'll get to your question in a second. Sazlink the Great, I'm sorry. Thank you for your $5.50 super chat. I appreciate that. Matthew Watson, thank you for the $7.15 super chat. I appreciate that. G Brownlee, thank you for the $2 super chat. Thank you. Fry Minis, thank you for the $2 super chat, dude. Thank you. And then Fairy Ganderort, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that. Katago, the final boss, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. And I think okay, now what we're gonna do is I will get to your super chats and all the rest of everybody's questions. We're gonna do a cat strike where I give my cats kitty treats and we watch them swarm. It's very, very adorable. But before we do that, a word from our sponsor. This content is brought to you by the Layers and Legends Kickstarter, coming in early 2022. Are you a dungeon master looking to reduce your prep time but still run awesome games for your players? Would you like professional pre-made 5th edition adventures, maps, traps, puzzles, magic items, and other resources you can drag and drop into your existing campaign? The Layers and Legends Kickstarter will create 2 gorgeous hardcover books for dungeon masters containing all of this and more. The first book, Layers and Legends, will deliver 25 5th edition compatible adventures spanning levels 1 to 15 and over 100 new terrifying monsters to pit against your players. The second book, Loot and Lore, will deliver 50 magic items, 25 puzzles, 40 traps, 10 factions, 30 standalone encounters with maps, 30 villains, 30 NPCs, 70 random tables, 30 adventure ideas, 20 spells, and 4 subclasses. And through the beauty of Kickstarter and stretch goals, we'll be able to commission beautiful artwork for both books and add even more content. Furthermore, in addition to the hardcovers, you can also get both books in PDF format and a digital map pack containing all the maps from both books. And if you'd like to pick up a hardcover copy of our last Kickstarter, Into the Fae, it will be available as an add-on to Layers and Legends. Click the link below to join the Layers and Legends email list and get notified when it goes live in early 2022. All right, cool. Here we go. They're lining up. By the way, there's a link below for the Layers and Legends mailing list if you guys want to sign up for that and get notified. We're planning on launching right now. I think we're going to be able to launch in April. So that's coming soonish. And now we're going to give Kitty Cat. Oh my gosh. Calm down. Calm down. Jeez. You are a baby. I'll be right back. I got more coffee. More coffee. Chase. Skits. We want more skits. Well, thank you, Chase. I'm doing one skit a month. Yeah, that's what we're doing. One a month. Oh, baby. That's good coffee. It's good. It's good coffee. It's time to talk about the merch. I think it's time to talk about the merch. Well, thank you, Owen. By the way, if you would like DM Lair shirts and hoodies and other cool merchandise that is very comfortable to wear, there is a link down in the chat there where you can get premium DM Lair merchandise. It's very, very nice. You can get the shirts that we had at LairCon as well. It has like a Tarrasque on it. It's very, very cool. So you might have to scroll a little bit because Teespring is kind of crappy as a site goes. it's not a very good platform to be selling things with. But this is what happens, honestly. A lot of times big companies like YouTube make deals with companies that don't actually have very good platforms or products and are kind of clunky and junky. And because a lot of times big corporations make decisions based upon other things than like usability and and stuff. Yeah, so I know a thing or two about that. But anyway, yeah, there's merch down below. You just got to scroll a bunch to find what you want. I wish I could list it in a better way, but Teespring doesn't let me actually make it a good user experience, and I apologize for that. It's frustrating to me too. All right, let's keep going here. What things do you reckon an Ashmade Devil, Judgment Devil, I have no idea what that is, would hate about a party? I don't know. Murder hoboing, probably. I don't know. I had a player ask me for a list of everything the devil will hate about them as it will affect a spell. I don't know offhand. And especially, I don't know what they would hate about that particular party. I think you just probably do some brainstorming based upon your knowledge of that creature and your knowledge of the party. Sorry. Yeah, that's my recommendation for you. Kagato, the final boss, says, what are your thoughts on using or ignoring the utility and consumable items? Rations, soap, bedrolls, whetstones, etc. Thank you for all your hard work. You're very welcome. What are my thoughts on ignoring those things? I ignore them already. Who keeps track of bedrolls? so you pooped in your bed. Whatever, you just keep reusing it. You can get a new one, just, rations. Yeah, we're gonna keep track of rations. Okay, that sounds like fun. Water skins and flasks. Yeah, let's keep track of this stuff. Thank you. Let's play a spreadsheet game. Yeah, thanks. No, thank you. Goodbye. Yeah, that's my opinion on that. It's like, what about verisimilitude and suspension of disbelief? Ah! Well, then keep track of those things, and I hope you and your players have lots of fun doing that. Do you take inspiration from real-world cultures for your homebrew setting? I don't have a homebrew setting. I use pre-made settings because it's easier and faster, and people do the work for me. And also, my experience with homebrew settings has been shoddy. In other words, folks who make homebrew settings, they're not always super good. And sometimes I'm just like, I wish you'd just use Eberron or Forgotten Realms. It's better. So yeah, not always, obviously. Some are really cool, but yeah. But anyway, I don't use homebrew settings. Will $2 get me a cat purr on the mic? Yeah. Let's see how we do this. There you go. Now for $20, you should see what I do for $20. Where's Penguin Butt? Penguin Butt's like, no, Luke, don't do that. That was my best imitation of Penguin Butt's voice. Very, very bad. Any tips for a hot start to a campaign? I don't know. I don't even know what a hot start means. What does that mean? What does a hot start mean? I'm going to have to Google this. What does hot start mean? What does hot start mean? Hot start. Will preheat the water, allowing dishes to be washed at any time. That might not be the right definition. Dishwasher. What is the best setting for a dishwasher? Is it better to wash or use 1 hour? Do you need to preheat water for a dishwasher? What are the stages of a dishwasher? What is an automatic hot start feature that is SUP Best Buy? Hot start option versus sanitize on a dishwasher. Oh, okay. So we're talking about dishwashers. All right. So let's go back to the question. Any tips for a hot start to a campaign? I mean, if you stuffed your players into the dishwasher, if you chopped them up and liquefied them, you could probably get them to fit into a dishwasher. And then you could use the hot start setting on there. This is what all those buttons on your dishwasher do. CNET. WD's guide to dishwashers. Women's Day. Womensday.com. Okay. I use the dishwasher too. I'm not a woman. Thank you though. What about mansday.com? Does mansday.com have dishwasher information? We actually don't even use our dishwasher. We literally have a very nice dishwasher and we don't use it. It is, in our opinion, it is more work to use the dishwasher than to simply wash the dishes by hand. So we have a very nice dishwasher that never gets used. Actually, I think my wife said that if you don't use it ever, it can like go bad. And so every so often she washes something in the dishwasher, but we usually don't use it. It's like, it's more work. Ironically, it's more work to use a dishwasher than it is to just wash the stuff by hand. I can't explain it. Maybe we're doing it wrong. Maybe we're doing it wrong. Hot start, I believe, means begging a campaign with combat or action of some sort. Goliath Cleric says, PSA, don't chop your players up. That's typically fatal and illegal. I've had players survive that before. I have. And it's only illegal if you get caught. Dishwashers are nice for large families. Oh, it could be. Yeah, I don't know. I just know we don't use ours. That's all I know. I'm not, yeah, if I were writing articles for this Woman's Day, apparently, I would probably have to do some research more into dishwasher usage, but I don't know. So I don't know. Hot start, just have a combat, I guess, if that's what that means. Matthew Watsons just says, thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. You are very welcome. You are very welcome. You are very welcome. I'm with the fudge or something there. Coffee alert. I already got the coffee, dude. Coffee alert says coffee alert. Yay. G Brownie says, this isn't where I wanted my question to go. Were you the one with the hot start? Dude, you got the best answer in a long time though, man. You got the dishwasher answer. There's not a whole lot of people that can ask a question and get that sort of answer. You should feel honored, dude. I gave you premium high quality answer right there, man. He's like, dude, I'm never coming back to your stream again. You suck. Like, yeah, it's true. Preheat your players before the session. Oh my gosh. Sacrilege, you changed mugs. No, I didn't. It's the same mug. It's the same one I've had. See? Yeah. Okay. Let's get another question here. What should I do if I have a player who constantly wants to change his class build every other session? I have a PC who really wants to make the most optimized class build he can. Oh gosh, here we go. Here we go. But he'll keep asking if he can change features and sometimes levels. And usually I'll say yes, because most of the time it's something small. But he keeps doing it, and over time it'll stack up. How can I get him to stop doing this, or at least come up with a reason in game to be changing things? Okay, all right. So we got your classic player who wants to change their character every 10 seconds. All right. Let's talk about this. In my experience, there are two flavors of characters who want to change their character all the time. Or maybe not all the time, but usually it's like every other game session or the next game session, they'll be like, you know, Luke, I've been thinking, and I'd like to change my character to X, Y, and Z. There are two ways they usually do this. One is they want to change their entire character. Like, you know, I was playing a bard, but let's go barbarian. Or I was playing a barbarian, and let's go 2 fighter, 3 rogue, and 5 cleric. Reasons. The reasons are usually they saw a Reddit post, and they were like, ooh, that sounds fun. Anyway, they'll do that. They'll want to change the entire build. Or the second thing they'll want to do is they're happy with the bard, but that one feature, well, you know, I want the other feature. I don't want that one. I want to change that one. Or I want to change my archetype. Or they'll push a little bit further, and then they'll say, well, you know, I want to keep the bard, but I kind of would rather have, you know, 2 levels of warlock. So could I take my level 5 bard and change it into 2 warlock and 3 bard? Yeah, because I really think, you know, splashing 2 warlock is going to get me some really cool stuff. And so those are the 2 flavors. And we're going to talk about both of those and my suggestions for what you might do in either of those cases. First, let's talk about a player who wants to create a new PC every other game session. Now, I understand the desire to try out new PCs. I understand the excitement. I get it. Maybe you get bored with your paladin 2 sorcerer build and you want to try a wizard or you want to try a bard. I can understand that. However, there needs to be limits. I had a player once. Let's just call him Ned. And he would want to change his character, I crap you not, every 2 games. Like, we'd have a game and he'd have like a wizard.
And then the next game, he would be like, you know, Luke, I've been thinking about this, and I really want to try out a fighter. Could I try out a fighter? And I'd be like, dude, you just changed to a wizard. I know, but this fighter, you know, I'd be like, dude, really? And then this kept on happening. It's like every other, you know, now those warlocks are really good, you know, they got that pushback thing. And we use lots of elevations in our game, and there are cliffs and stuff. So I'm pretty sure if I changed to Warlock, I'd be able to take advantage of a lot of this terrain that we have in this game right now. You know, so I'd like to change to Warlock to, you know, that'd be really good. And obviously you can see there's min-maxing perhaps going on, but there's also metagaming maybe, or maybe it's just I got interested in a new thing. And now I'm all excited about the new thing. It's like, woo! You know, so he would want to change it all the time. And I said, Ned, this isn't going to work, dude. You know, the constantly having new PCs disrupts the game in various ways. And we're going to have to put some limits on here. And so I said, look, dude, you can have a new PC every time there's a new, at least wait for the adventure to be over with. In my games, an adventure usually takes about 3 or 4 game sessions. At least wait, which is about 2 months. At least wait for the adventure to be over before you change your PC. And so we came up with that agreement. Now, that's probably still a little bit too frequent, in my opinion. But at least it kind of like, you know, took care of the immediate problem. So it is a thing that constantly changing new PCs or changing your PCs out and constantly having a player making new PCs is going to disrupt your game in various ways. And if you have not had a player like that before and you're not quite sure how it would disrupt your game, just trust me and just wait for it to happen. When you have a player that wants to change their PC out every game session, you will see how it disrupts things. You will see the extra burden it puts on you and all the little ripple effects throughout the game. So it is a thing, it happens. This is one of the reasons that I don't like having lots of death in my games. I don't like having PCs die all the time. Now, I still run challenging games. Ask Goliath Cleric, ask my Ancient Dragon players, ask my Curse of Strahd players. I still run challenging games, and there's always a possibility of dying, and dying happens. I don't try to prevent it. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, precious characters, don't let them die. But I don't like it. I don't like it because it does disrupt the game and blah, 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 etc. So, but you can't just let a player constantly make an entire new PC. It's not good. And so you have to put limits on it. Now, this doesn't apply, of course, to a player who has run a character for a long time and just wants a change. There's nothing wrong with that, obviously. I had a player once, Anna, amazing, awesome, wonderful player. I missed the game and her. She had to move to a different state and stuff. But she, for the longest time, was playing a bard. And she was not having fun. One day she came to me and she's like, Luke, I don't like my bard. This bard is horrible. I'm not having fun. Could I change to something else? I'm like, yeah, absolutely, not a problem. And she changed to a barbarian, and she loved her barbarian. She loved just going and whacking things and being covered with blood. It was beautiful. And so I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the dude who wants to change like every single game session a totally new character. So that definitely has problems, and you got to put a limit on that. It's just literally you, the dungeon master, saying no, limits. That's the solution. You could also work with the player to hopefully develop something about their character that they like and enjoy that gives them motivations to keep that character instead of changing to a new one. And this is honestly what I did with the player Ned. His current character was a wizard, and I knew he had a problem with constantly wanting to play new characters. And so I was conspiring in my brain, wondering how I could get him to stop changing all the time. And I was like, you know, the way to get him to stop changing all the time is to give him a really good reason to not want to change. And so he had a wizard, and there was a moment in the game where he got bitten by a lycanthrope, a werewolf, or it was a werebear. It might have been werebear. And he was affected with lycanthropy. And at that point, and he was excited about it. He's like, oh my gosh, this is cool.
And at that moment, I realized this is the way to do it. This is how to get him to stop changing. And so I worked with him and we came up with certain benefits that he would gain for being a lycanthrope. And they were mild. None of them were super dramatic. He was not immune to non-silvered weapons and stuff. It wasn't straight out of the books. We came up with a homebrew little mechanic for him. So it wasn't super overpowered. That's my first point. But the entire goal and purpose of that from me as a dungeon master was to give him a strong motivation to keep that wizard and not want to change. And I accomplished that goal because up until the time when he left the game, he was playing that wizard and it worked very, very well. So that's the other thing you can do. Give your player a reason not to change. Now, let's talk about players who want to make small changes to their PC every other game session. So swapping out a feature, swapping out a feat. Maybe they want to change their ability scores a little bit, or they want to go from 5 Bard to 3 Bard and 2 Warlock. Those sorts of changes. Why might this be a problem? Well, the first reason it probably is a problem, or at least the beginnings and inklings of a problem, is it's obviously min-maxing. The reason more than likely that they want to change these things out is to make their character a little bit more powerful. Now, I have no real compunctions about min-maxing. I enjoy having powerful characters myself. And I think many, many people enjoy having powerful characters. This is why books like Tasha's Cauldron of Everything are very successful, because they introduce more powerful character options, which players tend to like. So I understand that. But it can also slip into power gaming as well, which is different than min-maxing, and I've talked about that before, into which you're trying to not only become a very powerful character, but take advantage of everything, and it can slowly ruin and cause problems in the game. The other thing is at the point where, like, every single game session, you want to change a feature or your archetype or class levels, we're no longer role-playing. We're no longer creating a character that we're role-playing in the game. We have instead devolved into a sort of video game mentality where you can... Anybody ever played massive online games like Wizards of... What do they call that thing? WoW. What does WoW stand for? WoW. Wizards of Warriors. What the heck does WoW stand for? Who's played WoW? What does that thing stand for? I can't even think of what it stands for. We just call it WoW. Somebody in chat, help me. World of Warcraft. Thank you. Who's ever played World of Warcraft? And you have like tons of alts. Alts are separate characters you create. You have a paladin, you have a wizard, you have a warlock, you have a sorcerer. You have all of these alts. Some people buy extra space on their accounts just to have tons of alts. We have lots of alts because we want to play all these different things, right? And then we're tweaking little things, we're changing things, we're doing all this sort of stuff. So when you in D&D have someone who's constantly wants to make tweaks to their character and change things and swap things out, they're essentially trying to play a video game and they're just trying to like tweak and do all this kind of stuff. They're not really role playing at that point. And so we're diverging a bit, I think, from like maybe the heart and soul of the game, depending on how you run your game at your table. Obviously, there is some interpretation of these sorts of things because not everybody's game is the same. Now, if you wanted to allow that sort of thing, if you wanted to, and you're well within your rights to do so because you are the dungeon master, and if that's the game you want to play and you want to allow characters to swap out minor things, you're welcome to do so. You're the dungeon master, you have the ability, you have DM fiat, etc., etc. My recommendation to you is to require them to take downtime activities with a trainer who's going to help them learn that skill. And there will be a gold piece cost associated with that. So let's pretend that they have a certain feat and they want to change to a different feat. Well, okay, you need to spend 2 weeks downtime or 3 weeks or something with a trainer and pay X amount of gold, and they will teach you that feat, and then you can swap it out. And so there is a cost in game for them to learn that additional thing. In this case, you don't get the additional thing, it's a swap. For game balance reasons, obviously. So make them pay a price for it. This is the classic instance of the yes, but.
the player wants to swap out something, and as a dungeon master, you say, yes, but there is a cost, and this is what you have to do. I would strongly recommend implementing something like that in your game if you have a character who constantly wants to do that. Make them pay a cost. And it's going to take some time. They have to do downtime and stuff, which doesn't happen every game session, so they might have to wait for it, which means they're not going to be swapping something out every single game session. It's going to take some time. So it slows the roll at which they can actually do that. It allows them to do it, so you're not totally just saying no, which you could and would be well within your rights if you want to, but you're slowing it down, you're minimizing the change, and you're adding a mechanism in the game that they need to follow in order to do that. The other thing I would say too is about level swapping. If somebody comes to you and they're like, hey, nah, I'm like a level 5 bard, but I'd really like to be a 3 bard, 2 warlock, that's too much for me. That there's just no rationale for that. You can't justify that in gameplay. Like, this is the in-world reason, you know, I don't know, you were visited by a deity and they just 14th level magic, woo, and changed you. No, we're getting a little too crazy at that point. At that point, that's just a new character that you want to play. So I would probably just say no to that. There's no real justification or in-game reason you could really present for that, in my opinion. So I would go a hard no on that. The last thought I have on this whole topic of constantly wanting to change things out is a player who constantly is wanting to change all of these things out and tweak things for min-max reasons, for sure, possibly for metagame reasons, possibly for video gamey reasons. Is that the only problem they're bringing to the game table? Is that the only way that they might be slightly or very negatively affecting the game? It makes me wonder. I suspect there's probably other baggage and problems they're bringing as well, which is probably worth taking a look at. But anyway, that's out of the scope of your original question. So those are my suggestions for how him to stop doing that or give in-game reasons for it. And best of luck, my friend. Best of luck. Tom says, I'm literally playing WoW right now while watching you. Nice. That's awesome. Nikita, thank you so much for the 1974 super chat. I appreciate that. Luke, how you doing? I was thinking of creating a custom class and race just for fun and investigation purposes. Any thoughts on how to keep it safe? In other words, what makes some homebrews for you unfair, broken, lazy, or senseless? So the guideline that I use if I were to homebrew something is essentially comparing it to other existing mechanics. So you might look at the paladin or the fighter or the wizard from the player's handbook. And when you're creating your homebrew, just kind of, it's a gut check. It is this feature, is this thing that I'm creating about as powerful as this other thing that's already been published? If I feel it's about as powerful and it's not more powerful, then you're probably okay. Although I will say that you probably still should make it less powerful, because most of us don't really have good sense of power, or we just want more of it or something. I don't understand the exact psychology behind it, but I can tell you that 90% of homebrew that I put my eyes on is very, very broken, especially for classes and races and other character options. I don't know, call me crazy, but it's like when players homebrew things for players, it always seems to be pretty broken. So I would try to compare it and try to keep things balanced. And then even then, maybe scale back a little bit just to kind of play it safe. But it's really a comparison game and it's a gut check. I don't think if there's a secret formula behind the screen, I don't know it. So yeah, there you go. What's your view on 5e power creep? It's called engineered obsolescence, and they're doing it on purpose. And it is so they can introduce a new edition. And every game publisher in the world does it, probably, or almost every single one does it. There's nothing new. They need to sell books. They need to sell books, and new editions sell lots of books. So when a current edition gets a little bit stale, it's about time for a new edition. And engineered obsolescence, where you're intentionally breaking your game, usually through power creep and stuff like that, is a definite strategy for introducing a new edition. And so it is very intentional. It's a business decision. It's a game design decision. It is what it is. From a consumer standpoint, I'm like, ugh. But from a business standpoint, I'm like, you got to do what you got to do, because if you don't make money, you go out of business, and then nobody has your products except for the old stuff. So there's one part of me that's like, and the other part of me is like, it's a smart business thing to do. And it works because they've been doing it for a long, long time, and it works. It's funny because it's the age old thing where it's like, you know, someone is doing something that is like unsavory, for instance, but it works. The proof is in the pudding. Like, there might be tons of people who are like, oh, that's not very nice, and then they go out and buy the books. And so the person who's doing the thing is getting flack from people who say, you shouldn't do that. And yet they go out and they confirm that decision that person made. And so the person making the decision is like, you say one thing and yet you do something else with your actions. Guess what game I'm going to play? I'm going to play the game that your actions validate. Don't care what you say. Your actions are validating my decisions and making me money. Therefore, I'm going to play that game. Works, it works. It's the same thing on like YouTube with like thumbnails and titles, or sometimes you'll make like a very provocative or interesting, clickable thumbnail that, you know, people are going to click and they're going to go watch the video because you had a really interesting thumbnail, and they're like, oh my gosh, what is that? And they go and they watch it, you know, and they'll say, oh, just it's clickbait. And they'll freak out at you. It's clickbait, Luke. I can't believe you clickbaited me. And I'll be like, the thumbnail said this, and I literally talked about that in the video. It's not clickbait. I delivered on the promise. It's not clickbait. But they're like, yeah, but the thumbnail enticed me to click on it. Well, no crap, Sherlock. That's what a thumbnail's supposed to do. It's supposed to entice you to click on it. That's what we have to do. If we don't make good thumbnails and titles, people don't watch our videos, genius. Well, yeah, but you shouldn't have to. We didn't make the game. We are doing those things in response to your behavior. Viewers' behavior determines what we do in order to excel at this game. You guys only click on certain things and watch certain stuff. Therefore, if we want to not have all of our work in doing a video wasted, we have to we have to create thumbnails and titles in a certain way so you actually click on them. Like, we're playing the game, you wrote the game, you created it. Don't get mad at us. Get mad at your own behavior. The day that you start clicking on videos with crappy titles and crappy thumbnails that look totally uninteresting to you is the day that we start making crappy thumbnails and crappy titles that are totally uninteresting. Don't get mad at us, dude. It's the same rationale. It's the same rationale. Don't hate the player, hate the game. That's basically it. Yeah. Oh, Bob, the world builder's in the house. Hello, sir. So Bob, Dungeon Coach was here before, and Peak D&D was here before. And I mean, I appreciate the effort, but you're a little late. I'm messing with you, dude. By the way, Bob, we watched your video, your recent video on Wizards of the Coast. We watched it on stream here. It was really cool, dude. I liked it. I shared it with people. It was cool. Yeah. I'm really hungry right now too. If you could send me a pizza or something, I'd appreciate that. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Actually, you're over on the East Coast, aren't you? Ed Robinson, one of my moderators here, really likes you, Bob, and he lives near you. If you can send Bob a pizza, no, Bob, if you can send Ed a pizza
And then Ed, if you can forward that pizza to me, you know what? Let's back up. Bob, send Ed 2 pizzas. Ed, you get to keep one of them, and then you send the other one to me. And then I will send you, little guy, in the pizza box back to you. Okay, we got a deal. Thank you. That was great. That was a great collab. I love it. What's your favorite hamburger? The big ones. I will show you a picture. Felipe, was that who was it? Who asked that? Was that Felipe? Felipe, I will show you a picture of my favorite hamburger. I crap you not. I took a picture of it. Hold on. Stand by. I have to find it in my photos, and then I will show you a picture of my favorite hamburger. Hold your horses. Don't get too excited. I gotta find it. Oh, there's a picture of my daughter going to the range with me the first time and shooting a gun. That's a good picture. Oh, that's George, my squirrel, eating stuff. Hold on, I'm getting to the hamburger. I got more squirrel pictures. Winter. Where's my hamburger? That's good food. Oh, here's a good picture. Check this out, you guys. Not a hamburger. This right here is carne asada. This is absolutely amazing deliciousness. That's very good right there. But that's not the hamburger. Hold on, we're getting to the hamburger. Check this out. This is George, out of focus, obviously, because didn't take that picture very well. But that's George. I'm looking for the hamburger. Hold on. Oh, there, I found it. I found the hamburger. Okay. You guys, this is amazing. Look at this. Look at this hamburger. You guys, okay, so there's hash browns, burger, an egg, lettuce, tomatoes, onion. Oh, the bun. These fries were absolutely amazing. Oh, you guys, my wife and I went to this place about 2 months ago. This is probably one of the most amazing burgers I have ever had in my life. It beats everything. It beats Five Guys. It beats everything. It was amazing. I cannot tell you how good this thing was. And the fries were so good. Okay, and here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. That restaurant has closed down. We found the restaurant with the most amazing burger in the world, and lots of other good food too, by the way. And now it's closed. It closed down. And do you know the note we found on the door one day when we went to go there? Because we were like, burger! The note on the door said something along the lines of, out of an overabundance of caution, we've decided to permanently suspend our business or our operations. Out of an overabundance of caution, we've decided to permanently. That's a little pessimistic, don't you think? You think this is going to last forever? Actually, it probably will. Because people are making money. But anyway, let's just keep going here. Let's just keep going. So yeah, our favorite restaurant is gone now. Not happy. Thank you. Thank you, moderators. All right. Their Mixer 9000 member question. Opinions on PC specific gold, all the same, versus party funds. A single PC would have to save up for a thing, or they take the money from the group funds. So I'll tell you how I do it in my games. This is how my players too like doing it, I think, is we have group loot. And basically when we're in a dungeon and we're getting loot, one person who is like the secretary or something, whatever, they keep track of the group loot. So as I read the loot, they take notes and it goes into the group funds. And then every so often, usually after an adventure, when they're about to take downtime, everybody gets like a cut. Not everything, but they'll get a cut of like walking around money, let us say. And then if there is something that's even more expensive, like a magic item they're going to get, or let's say that the fighter wants to get plate mail, which is pretty expensive at low levels, then they'll get some extra stuff out of the group funds. And so we do a mix of both of those things.
Group funds plus walking around money that helps you spend things. But it makes sense. Certain classes cost more money than others, like wizards who need scrolls and spell books and stuff, and components, sometimes expensive components. It makes sense that the group would help fund that. Fighters, you know, once the fighter has their plate mail, they kind of don't need a whole lot more. Maybe healing potions, you know. But yeah, so that's kind of how we do it. And it works really well. And it's a lot easier to do that than literally every time there's loot, dividing it up among everybody. It gets old. Just make one list and then every so often divide some of it up. It's a lot easier that way. And if you have players that work well together and trust each other, it's not a problem. If you have some crazy maniacs who are all like PvP and backstabbing, then that might not work for you. And you might not want to play in that game any longer either, because that's not fun. Well, maybe it's fun for you. I don't know. My fun may not be your fun. Fairy Vander or member question. Thank you, sir. I am homebrewing. And speaking is hard. I'm homebrewing some enemies. How can I make them memorable without being underwhelming or whipping the team? AKA strong but balanced. You answered your own question. You make them strong but balanced. I don't know how else to say it. There's no secret, dude. There's no secret. Sometimes they're gonna get a butt whooping. Sometimes it's gonna be underwhelming. Like, it's gonna happen. There's no secret sauce there. Homebrew it, introduce it to the game table, and it's either gonna accomplish your goals or it's gonna fall flat. And then try to learn something from that. Try to make changes to the next one. You just don't know. There's no way to formulate that stuff up front. And even if you got the monster just right, there are so many variables at play that, you know, the group could be depleted of resources. They might have lots of resources. They might make really bad decisions in the combat. They might have a split party or something. There's so many other variables that trying so hard to calculate your monster CR just right and get it just perfect, it's probably not a good use of your time. I would say don't sweat it so much. Make something that has some cool abilities that you think will be fun and interesting, and your players will be like, oh, holy crap, what is that? And then, you know, make the stats, do the mechanics, punch your numbers, try to get the CR about what you think it should be, and call it a day. This is an art much more than a science, in my opinion, when it comes to creating monsters like that, because of all the variables and all that stuff I've mentioned. It's just not worth your time, nor your like emotional strain to worry too much about that. Just make something, make it cool, put it in the game, and you know, you're gonna learn as you go and get better at it. And sometimes it'll flop and sometimes it'll be amazing. You just don't know. Make sure you're watching my coffee. Somebody watching my, oh, Penguin Butt, you're back. Hello. Welcome back. What are your thoughts on firearms in a fantasy? What are your thoughts on firearms in a fantasy setting? Thank you, no, goodbye. I am running a medieval fantasy game. I am not running a firearms game. If I wanted to run firearms, we wouldn't be in the medieval times. I don't know what to tell you. That's not the game I'm running. But if you want to run that game, then don't listen to me. Run the game you want to run. But I think it's kind of stupid. I don't like it. I don't want firearms in my games. I just don't. That's my personal choice, my personal preference, you know. Just that's what Luke would do. But sometimes Luke is dumb and you should listen to him. You specify location-based adventure for a one-shot. Why would you not want to do an event-based adventure for a one-shot? Oh, no. Don't even think about an event-based adventure for a one-shot. No. We have an event-based adventure coming out soon. I forget exactly when we're going to publish it.
But it's my patrons will get it. You know, my patrons every single month get Lair magazine. They get like one-shot adventures. They get standalone adventures. They get lots of cool benefits for being patrons. But one of the things that we're going to be publishing to my patrons in the upcoming next month or the month after is an event-based adventure called The Rise of the Salamander. The Rise of the Fire Salamander. No, The Rise of the Salamander, I believe is the name of it. And it is an event-based adventure. And here's the thing. This is the very interesting thing. You almost never see event-based adventures for two reasons. Published, that is, published. Dungeon Masters probably run them, but you don't usually see them published. And here's why, in my opinion. It's very difficult to write an event-based adventure in a way that somebody can read it and run it at the game table and have it actually be runnable and usable. Because event-based adventures are way different than location-based adventures and more challenging, potentially, to run at the game table. And because it's more challenging to run at the game table, it's more challenging to write in such a way that people can run the game. Which is why in almost every single published module from Wizards, I don't think there are almost any event-based adventures. Almost all of them are location-based adventures. And I did an entire video on my channel talking about the difference between the two. I talked about what location-based adventure is and what an event-based adventure is. So there's a video on my channel if you're not sure on the difference. But event-based adventures are challenging to write and to run as a game master. And so, anyway, point is, DM Lair patrons are going to get an event-based adventure. It is our first stab at writing it in a way that you can actually use it at your game table. And if we succeeded at it and did a good job, and we'll get feedback, I hope, which will help us to iterate and refine that, then we'll make more of them, obviously. And by the way, Goliath Cleric, also known as Zack, is the writer of that adventure, did, in my opinion, an amazing job. So hopefully the customers will feel the same, and we'll make more of those. But the original question was, oh, why wouldn't you do a one-shot with an event-based adventure? Because you can't control the flow as easily. It's harder to control the flow. With a location-based adventure, everything is confined. You can determine how many rooms there are and how many encounters there are. You know what? I'm backpedaling now. You can actually control that with an event-based adventure. And I have actually run an event-based adventure at a convention before where I completely controlled the amount of scenes. Yeah, all I did was cut stuff out. I was running an event-based adventure and I was keeping an eye on the time, and there were lots of different events that could take place, but there was like an ending event and they were over here. And if we were running out of time, I just took out some of the events, and some of those events didn't happen, and they just went to the end event. So it actually is possible. And it's actually not that hard. So you know what? I'm totally going to recant on my original stance on that and say that running an event-based adventure as a one-shot is really not that hard. I think it actually might be easier to run an event-based adventure as a one-shot than it is a location-based adventure. Because it's very easy for me to take out an event or take out a scene from an event-based adventure. But when you have a dungeon map that's already made, it's really hard to take out a room or take out an area. Now, I can remove an encounter and have it not be there if we're running low on time, but the room is still there, and the players are still going to spend time looking in that room. So that is more challenging. Of course, if we're running at the table, I could change the map on the fly, I suppose. But if you're running and you've already made the map on like online virtual tabletop, then it's harder to do. So yeah, there you go. There's a cool answer for you. Peyton Wheeler says, you head of Quest Haven. Yes. Thank you for your inquiry, Peyton. All right, let's get some stuff going on here. Oh my word. Woo! Oh. All right, got some super chats.
Timothy Arnold, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that, dude. What is the best way to help a new player grow and improve at role-playing as the Dungeon Master? How can I best encourage in working stats and playing their PC? I think explain the basics of role-playing to them. This is your character. You are a fighter, and you have a backstory, and you probably have like, you have a flaw. What are those things they put on the character sheets that help you to role play? There's like, there's like 4 different things. One of them is a flaw, and then there's I can't remember the names of them, but there's 4 of them. Somebody in chat, help me. The things you type out that give you like role playing motivations and stuff. There are 4 of them. One of them is a flaw. Ideal, bond, flaw, personality trait. Sure, exactly. Bonds, ideals, and flaws. All of those things help inform your role playing. So what I would explain to a new player is you're a fighter, and let's pretend you have a backstory. You actually made a backstory, and you have a bond, an ideal, and a flaw. The backstory and your bond and ideal and flaw are intended to inform how you role play your fighter. And there are 2 elements to role playing. Basically, what you say and what you do. So if your fighter is in X situation, let's pretend that your fighter is a townsfolk, a member of the town is angry at your fighter and demanding something from your fighter. Well, consider your fighter's backstory. Consider your fighter's ideal, bond, and flaw. Based upon that information, what would your fighter do? What would they say? How would they react? And that's role playing. Well, you know, my fighter is a pretty tough guy, went through some really horrible things, and he's not going to take crap from a wussy townsperson yelling at him. So my fighter gets really big, stares down at that townsfolk, and growls in a threatening way and drops his hand to his sword. That is how my fighter reacts, based upon my backstory and my motivations and what's happening in the current situation. And that right there is role playing. So I would give them a simple explanation of how to role play, what goes into it, what are the inputs, and then based upon that, you get certain outputs, and give a basic explanation of that, and then encourage them to do their best to role play in that way. And then obviously, as a dungeon master, you can set the example for that. Not a whole lot, but sometimes in my games, I will think out loud to my players, and I will explain the reasons that I'm role-playing a NPC or a monster, which is also an NPC, a certain way. I might say, well, you know, these goblins really, really don't like you. But at the same time, they're not sure they can actually take you on. So they're going to let you pass without a problem. They let you go. I'm just verbalizing my role playing. I'm explaining their motivations and how the goblins feel, and then I'm explaining why they did the thing they did. Now, yes, that's metagame information. I don't need to do that, but occasionally I do. Now, I personally do that when I'm making a decision that perhaps is questionable, but I want my players to understand that I'm not metagaming, that I am role playing, and I want them to understand why the enemies are doing the way it's metagaming, but I don't want them to feel like I'm, you know, being disingenuous with my role playing. And so sometimes I will verbalize my rationale. But with new players, you can verbalize your rationale for role playing as a dungeon master as to set an example for them to help them to role play themselves. And so I suppose that's probably some suggestions I would have for you to help new players role play better. Coffee is getting low. Coffee is getting kind of low. Thank you everybody who's concerned about my coffee intake. I appreciate you. Celestina Knight, hello, how are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Celestina and a few of us played D&D together. It was a few weeks ago.
One of the things that I do for my patrons, by the way, is that every single month I run a D&D game, and I choose the players from my patrons. And Celestina was one of my patrons who got chosen to play D&D with me. And so we ran a really cool game, and I think did you guys win? I can't even remember what happened. I think you guys won. Yeah, you guys actually won, by the skin of your teeth, I believe. So yeah, it's pretty cool. There should be a link in the chat to my Patreon if you want to check out that. My patrons get Lair magazine every month, premium DM resources, adventures, maps you can use, the image files you can use on virtual tabletops, villains, traps, puzzles, new monsters. We produce a whole bunch of cool stuff for our patrons. You should go check it out. And obviously you could play D&D with me and cool stuff too. So anyway, she played D&D with us and had fun. I think she had fun. She said she had fun. I'm just gonna assume that she was being truthful. Anyway, she had a question too. Let's answer that question. How far out should you plan your overarching homebrew story? I have a vague end in sight, but I'm not sure how long to string out the adventures. New to homebrewing. So what I do is well, first of all, I have a video on my YouTube that is called Campaign Planning Part 1. That's it. Campaign Planning Part 1. And then there's a Part 2. I would strongly recommend you look at both of those videos because in Part 1 of Campaign Planning, I talk about the theory of planning your campaign. And that's going to directly answer your question about how far to plan out. And then in Part 2, I literally give you an example of planning out a campaign. Now, it is an older video, so, you know, it's a little cringy perhaps, but it's got really good information in it. The synopsis of it is you want to have a rough outline of your campaign, but you don't want to fill in too many details. Rough outline, not a lot of details. That way there's flexibility along the way, and you don't do more work than you actually need to do. You do just enough work to get an outline so you have an idea of where things are going to go, and maybe who the big bad is, and some of their lieutenants, and some of the things that might happen along the way. And then as the party gets closer to those things, then you flesh them out, then you create some meat to them, so they're actual details, and you can run those adventures. And when you do it this way, you avoid wasting time creating lots of stuff that's not going to get used. If, for instance, the campaign shifts and goes a different direction, like my Ancient Dragon campaign has done. So that's the synopsis. I really recommend just looking at the videos, though, because they're going to really lay it out for you in a real way that makes a lot better sense with a lot more information. So thank you. I hope that's okay. I gave you kind of an answer and then told you to watch videos. So I hope that's not too sleazy. Kirby, hello, sir. Thank you for the $25 tip. I appreciate that. As a reminder, we are raising money for Canines for Warriors. That is our charity of choice this current time of the year, month, week, I don't know. And I appreciate that. $25 will go directly to Canines for Warriors. They help provide service dogs to veterans who are suffering from PTSD and other traumatic brain injuries and other things like that. So very, very appreciative, dude. Very cool. Our goal is $500 and we're getting very close. I think we're about $100 or so away from hitting our goal. So very cool. All right. How do I prevent my players from polymorphing into giant apes to compensate for bad hit points? If I plan for it, I destroy them if they don't use it. If I don't, they steamroll everything. How big is a giant ape? 15 feet tall. Yeah. So, guess what? Guess what? When you have location-based adventures or any type of adventure, when it's indoors and you have walls and ceilings, a lot of your problem is solved. It's really, 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 really hard to be a T-Rex or a giant ape inside a confined space,
because you are squeezed. You have half movement. All of your attacks have disadvantage, and attacks against you have advantage. So you're not going to want to turn into a T-Rex or a giant ape when you're indoors. It doesn't work very well. There is a reason that D&D works better for the most part when the adventures happen inside of a place. For lots of reasons. When there are corridors, when there are rooms, when there are doors, there are so many various reasons that the game works better inside. And Giant Apes and Polymorph is one of those reasons. It's one of the many. So if you're always having adventures that happen outside in the wide open space, then there's not a whole lot you can do about it. Except for have all of your adventures conveniently, all of your encounters conveniently take place 1 hour and 1 minute after each other. Because Polymorph lasts 1 hour. So it's like, oh, you're a giant ape, are you? That's okay, because the next encounter isn't going to happen for 1 hour and 1 minute. And your polymorph's going to wear off. And of course, you're metagaming as the Dungeon Master at that point, but that's kind of all you got there. Okay, thank you. That was fun. Oh, wow. Ed, oh my gosh. Ed, thank you so much for the $100 super chat. And now I'm going to try to say your last name, and you're going to get very angry at me because I'm going to totally destroy this. Ed Oborowski. I think I got it. Ed Oborowski. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate that. $100 super chat. Very, very appreciate, dude. That was English. Very, very appreciate. Thanks, dude. I really appreciate it. Hey, Luke. Just wanted to say hi. Thanks for all the cool videos. And thank you for supporting Canines for Warriors. Sounds like a great cause. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You are very, very welcome. I enjoy making videos. I was listening to, there's a book called Good to Great. This is an example. I forget who the name of that was by. Stand by. I have an important point to make. I just want to see who the author of this book is. It's called Good to Great by Jim Collins. I listen to lots of business books, running business, leadership, and stuff like that. And in this book, one of the things that they were talking about today as I was listening to it at the gym, I always listen to audiobooks to learn and stuff when I'm at the gym and other times too, is that great businesses do things that they are passionate about. And I really like making videos. I like doing this. I like doing the live streams and just acting totally stupid and silly, and then just doing crazy things in my videos and making dumb faces and stuff. It's a lot of fun. There are parts of it that I don't like, you know, scripting. I don't really like a whole lot, but there are lots of parts I like about it. I really enjoy about it. And so, yeah, I'm very passionate. I love doing that crap. It's very cool. So thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. Celestina, thank you for a $50 tip. Thank you. That goes right toward Canines for Warriors, helping get service dogs for our veterans. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And did you get your name at the top? Oh, she has her name at the top right here. Look at that. She's got her name up there. By the way, anybody who super chats or tips $50, you will knock her off the top right there, and you will get your name up there. I'm sorry, Celestina. I'm just telling people how to take your name down. I'm a bad person. All right, we need to do our cat trip, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to give my cats catnip. This is a legally addictive substance. It is a legal addictive substance that we are now going to give my kitty cats and get them all worked up. And it is going to be a beautiful, beautiful thing. We do this every night. But first, a message from our sponsor. This content is brought to you by the Layers and Legends Kickstarter, coming in early 2022. Are you a dungeon master looking to reduce your prep time but still run awesome games for your players? Would you like professional pre-made 5th edition adventures, maps, traps, puzzles, magic items, and other resources you can drag and drop into your existing campaign? The Layers and Legends Kickstarter will create 2 gorgeous hardcover books for dungeon masters containing all of this and more. The first book, Layers and Legends, will deliver 25 5th edition compatible adventures spanning levels 1 to 15 and over 100 new terrifying monsters to pit against your players. The second book, Loot and Lore, will deliver 50 magic items, 25 puzzles, 40 traps, 10 factions, 30 standalone encounters with maps, 30 villains, 30 NPCs, 70 random tables, 30 adventure ideas, 20 spells, and 4 subclasses. And through the beauty of Kickstarter and stretch goals, we'll be able to commission beautiful artwork for both books and add even more content. Furthermore, in addition to the hardcovers, you can also get both books in PDF format and a digital map pack containing all the maps from both books. And if you'd like to pick up a hardcover copy of our last Kickstarter, Into the Fae, it will be available as an add-on to Layers and Legends. Click the link below to join the Layers and Legends email list and get notified when it goes live in early 2022.
All right, beautiful. And that Kickstarter at Layers and Legends is tentatively planned to launch in April. So there's a link down below where you can sign up to the email list. And when the project goes live, we will notify you. And we're probably going to have some special offers too, that if you're on the email list, you'll get in on as well. So again, that should go in April. And I'm very excited to be launching that thing. It's going to be super cool. I've been planning that Kickstarter since I don't know, August of last year, getting it ready. We got some cool art plans and really cool stuff. So I'm very excited to get that going. So yeah, it's sweetness. And oh yes, now we do. Oh, all right. I have assembled here the Happy Carrot and whatever this was. This cat toy has seen better days, but I cannot find the banana, so we're going with that. And Squeaky is going nuts on me. He wants his catnip. So let's go to the cat cam. All right, buddy. There we go. And now the green husk. The green husk. He's like, I don't know which one I want more. I'll just roll around in both of them. All right, and I'm going to go bio and get some more coffee. You just hang out with Squeaky, and we shall be back. Little guy. Where's that little guy? Ed, this is little guy. Little guy's getting some catnip. Oh, my coffee.
squeaky cheese. Look at him. He's like sicking up. You genius. Come on, Squeaky. Well, it looks like the catnip did not sit well with Squeaky. He looked fine, though. He looked fine, but I think he was ingesting it. And it was too much for him. So. All right. Oh, you want to see the dog, too? I can show you the dog. Who wants to see our Chihuahua? Look at my big baby. Look at my big baby. Oh, hi. Look at big baby. Look at your big baby. Yeah. This is Chloe. Her name was Zoe, and I think we've changed it to Chloe now. So our Chihuahua. She's very nervous because she's only been with us I think we've had her for 2 weeks now. Yeah, but she's adorable. Yeah, a big adorable baby. He's a big baby. Aww. What's going on? What's going on? Go back over here. Your bed. Go back in your bed. We go back in your bed. Yeah. She's just been over here sleeping next to me the whole time. A bite-sized dog. Yes. All right, let's do questions again. We have some super chats. Kirby, thank you so much for the $50 tip. I appreciate that. We are very, very close to raising our money for Canines for Warriors. Thank you so much. And Kirby, Celestina, Kirby totally kicked you off the top. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I don't know why I told him to do that. Kirby, that was very, very mean of you. You should not have done that. Consolanoid has a question. Thank you, sir, for the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. How would you run a castle siege? My characters are helping lead an organized army of humans against a fortified village of goblins with their army. Ah! Okay, so high-level synopsis of how to do a castle siege. I have an older video on my channel that talks about this a little bit, how to run a siege. If you look for how to run a siege on my YouTube channel, you should find the video. And essentially what you want to do, you don't want to run large-scale combat in Dungeons and Dragons. The game was not designed for large-scale combat unless you do it narratively, which isn't the same. There's Squeaky. Squeaky is back. He wants more catnip. So to avoid large-scale combat, in the case of armies versus armies, or a siege in this case, you want to think of the adventuring party as an elite strike force. So when armies clash, the elite strike force does not fight on the front lines with the rest of the soldiers. The elite strike force has special objectives, special missions that they do that helps their side win. So an elite strike force, if there's a siege going on, an elite strike force might be tasked with stopping the battering ram somehow. The elite strike force might be tasked with going out there somehow, getting at the catapults and destroying the catapults, because those catapults are messing us up. The elite strike force might be tasked with sneaking out at night, going to the general's tent, and assassinating the leaders of the enemy army. Those are the types of things that an elite strike force would do in a war, in a battle between armies. So think of the players as an elite strike force and give them objectives that they need to accomplish in the war, in the battle, that is going to help their side win. Don't get bogged down with large-scale combat. That's not going to take you very far. That's going to take you down the road of buying entire additional add-ons to the game that are specifically designed for large-scale combat, which you don't need. If your game is mostly has nothing to do with large-scale combat, and there's just one little tiny part of it that might involve large-scale combat, you don't want to go out and get an entire book that gives you a rule set based on large-scale combat. You're going to spend time reading it, learning it, and explaining it to your players, and then implementing it for like one game session. Not worth your time, not worth your money. So skip that. Just think elite strike force, missions, and there you go. And that's your adventure, and that's how the players contribute to that war or to that siege. Oh, here we go. Oh, wow, we have a tipping war. We have a tipping war, ladies and gentlemen. Celestina, thank you so much for the $50 tip to Canines for Warriors. And you got your name up on the board momentarily. But of course, along comes big old mean Kirby. And he also tips $50. Thank you, Kirby. You're not really mean. I do appreciate that. But big old mean Kirby tips $50 and kicks her off the board. And then she comes right back again and she says, no, I don't think so. And she tips $50 and gets herself right back on the board. And ladies and gentlemen, this is how we raise a whole bunch of money for charities. Tipping wars for charity. I'm gonna like send them a bunch of money and they're gonna be like, wow, thank you so much for your generosity. And I'll be like, actually this donation is largely based upon a battle of like, I don't know. Yeah, people were duking it out and that's why you got a bunch of money. Oh, well, thank you anyway. You're very welcome. So now we have Celestina's back at the top. And Kirby is right now checking his bank balance, and he's like, "Let's see. I've already tipped like $200 tonight. Thank you, sir. Do I do another 50? Huh? Let's see. This is like when you have auctions and somebody's just like artificially inflating the price. You know. Now we need a third party to come in." What's your opinion on gritty realism rules? Short rest is 8 hours, long rest is a week. No, because if you do that, you have to rebalance lots of different parts of the game. You do. You cannot mess with something as big as the rest system and its impact on the game, its impact on adventure design and other things. Its impact on certain classes are built around the short rest. Fighters, monks, warlocks, their classes are literally built around the idea of taking a short rest and getting some of their features back. When you mess with that mechanic, it doesn't just make it gritty realistic. It doesn't just do that. It messes with core game design elements. So you can implement that little change and there are ripple effects throughout the entire game design, which you must consider and also fix. Otherwise, you're screwing over certain builds and certain players, and you're breaking things. You can't just like, I'm just gonna knock out this wall. Well, that's a supporting wall. You need that wall in your house. You can't just knock that thing out. You need to put columns in there or something. You know, that's an important wall. You know, So yeah, you can't just knock and change something like that that's actually a pretty big game mechanic without affecting other things. You must change and fix all those other things. So if you want to do that, you're welcome to, but that's a lot of work. And if you don't do all of that stuff that the ripple effect affected, then you're really doing a discredit to your players and your game and stuff, because you're breaking a bunch of stuff and So my opinion is, in theory, on paper, it sounds really good, you know, but it screws with a bunch of stuff that's been designed around that mechanic, which makes it not actually probably as good as you think it is. That's my opinion on that. Kirby is back on top. So apparently Kirby checked his bank balance and he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Now, here's the thing, Kirby. I mean, I don't want to get into your personal business a whole lot, you know, but I mean, if you're married, you know, when your wife sees all of that, you know, you probably want to think about a good reason, you know, be like, you know, well, there's this guy and he's really pathetic and I was trying to help him and I don't know. You spent how much? How much money did you give to Luke again? Well, it's actually for charity. Okay, that makes it better. Okay. It's awesome, dude. Oh, there we go. Celestina. Yes. Celestina's back in the house. She gets her name back on the board. What are we up to? What are we up to now? We are just killing it. We're going to have like $1,000 for Canines for Warriors. I know, Kirby, it's for the vets. It is. It's for the vets. Oh, wow. And then she tipped $15 to get it. Oh, there we go. This is them doing this is more entertaining than me talking. You should make 3D print files for your patrons. Why? There are lots of Patreons out there that literally do that. They already literally do it. And it's not something I'm good at. This is another thing too. When you're developing a business, there's only so much you can do as a business, and you probably want to focus on the things that you can do really well and do those things really well and get those things down. And then maybe you branch out into other things at some point. That's fair. Let's branch out into other things. But then you have to consider, okay, so if we branch out, let's pretend that we branch out into 3D printing stuff. Okay, are there some people that would find that valuable? Yeah, there would be. However, would all of the patrons find that valuable? No, because not all of them actually need that. Now, okay, fair. So many of them probably wouldn't use it. Okay, could we just simply offer it to all of them for free? Maybe. But if we're offering a new product or service, then we probably got to charge for it too, which would mean that potentially people, because of the way Patreon works, potentially then people who are paying for the thing aren't actually using the thing, and maybe they don't get a lot of value out of it. So maybe they won't like that. So you have to consider that as well. So maybe we're not very good at it. Maybe other people are better at it. I would obviously have to pay somebody to make those files because I can't do it. And we would want it to be premium. We want it to be really good because everything that we do for our patrons, we try to make as good as possible and have it be like primo stuff. And so you're paying somebody to make it. You might not get a lot of value out of it. Some patrons might not use it. I might have to raise prices because you have to, an additional service, costs go into that. And so you have to consider that. And at that point, you're like, is that really the best way to go? Maybe, maybe not. And there are lots of other Patreons that already offer that. So, those are all decisions you have to think about when you're running the business, you know, and choosing which activities you engage in and choosing which activities are the best way to build your business, the best way to branch out and grow. Is that the way to do it? Maybe it depends. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. But anyway, those are lots of considerations for that. Have you ever taken away a cleric's holy symbol? No, I haven't. That's kind of like a DM screw job. Any ideas on how to get them a new one? Yeah, they just go out and make a new one, or they buy a new one. I don't know. There we go. David Neal. Hello, David. David is like, I'll get my name on there. Sorry, Celestina. David has now kicked you off. Thank you. By the way, these guys who are doing this tipping war, they're all doing it for canines for warriors. This is the charity that we're currently raising money for. They provide service dogs to veterans who are suffering from PTSD, traumatic brain injury, and other traumatic stuff. And it's a very good organization. They rescue these dogs from what they call high kill shelters, where the dogs are probably going to be euthanized. And instead, they become service dogs for veterans. So very, very cool. We're raising money for them. All tips go 100% toward this charity. And we currently have a tipping war going on. People want to get their names up top. And that tipping war is benefiting this charity. So that is very cool. Thank you, folks. Simpaticos. Hey, what's up, dude? How you doing? Luke has a philosophy that you don't do to your players something you don't want them to do to you. Yeah, that's true. Stealing holy symbols probably falls in that category. Yeah, it's a screw job. It's a total screw job. I took your holy symbol. Your cleric can't cast spells anymore. like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. It's a DM screw job. Now, maybe in a combat, you might have somebody grab that holy symbol. They might be successful at it, and then somebody has to get it back. You might do that if there's reason to do it, if there's role-playing reason. But come on, are you kidding me? Any good cleric worth his weight in incense, I don't know, is going to have more than one holy symbol. What cleric only has one holy symbol? Are you kidding me? They've got more than one. They got to. What thief, what rogue only has one set of thieves' tools? What wizard doesn't make backup spellbooks? What fighter doesn't have more than one sword? Like, this is not brain surgery. Like, you have backups. Like, if you go into war with one gun, that's not a good idea. You might want to have a side pistol. You want, a sidearm over there just in case. So, but yeah. All right. I've been watching your Curse of Strahd streams. Not all the way caught up. Has the sanity system been going well? When we remember to use it, it has been going pretty well. We actually had Zack, one of our lead writers for Lair magazine. He wrote the original sanity system. Well, let's call it the insanity system that I'm using in my Curse of Strahd game. And we were playtesting it for a while, tweaking it, getting some bugs worked out of it. And then once we gave him some feedback, he tweaked the insanity system a bit. And now we're going to be publishing it as part of Lair magazine. What month does that come out in? I think it comes out does it come out in February? I think it comes out next month. Yes. The insanity system comes out in next month's issue of Lair magazine. So that's going to actually be releasing next week. So just for folks who aren't aware, my patrons get an issue of Lair magazine every single month. And this next month, we have the insanity system. We have a bunch of aboleths, aboleth variants, and aboleth spawn. And we have an entire adventure arc called The Madness of the Deep, I believe, adventure arc that is based on those aboleth and aboleth spawn that use the insanity system as well. And we have standalone encounters with aboleth and aboleth spawn and variants. And all of the maps, all of the digital image files of the maps are included. So if you want to run these things online, you can do so. You don't have to buy the resource and then go somewhere else to buy the digital maps because, yeah, we're just going to give them to you. So anyway, that's coming out in February. All DM Lair patrons get that. It's very good.
But anyway, the insanity system, when we remembered to use it, has been going fairly well. I just don't remember to do it a whole lot, and so my players don't get struck with insanity very often. That's just the nature of these things. The more rules you put into the game, the more there is to remember, and there's a greater probability that you're not going to use everything. That's just the way it works. That's why having a system like 5e that's rules light is very nice. I got tired. Holy crap. There we go. We got some work, got some stuff going on here. Lord God, thank you for the 545 super chat. I appreciate that, dude. We had a question. Where was that thing? There it is. Does flavor text affect the rules? No, never. Example, divine sense. No. So this is what I do. It is normal for me when I'm running a D&D game to narrate, to use flavor text, to make something sound really cool. I do it all the time. And occasionally for instance, I might, as the monster, deliver a blow to a character that drops them to 0 hit points. And I might describe it like this. The hobgoblin runs forward and hacks at you with his sword for 19 points of damage. And then the player's like, oh crap, that drops me to 0 hit points. And he lops off your arm and then takes your leg out from underneath you. And the player's like, wait a second. Did I just lose my arm? Like, I just lost my arm? And I'll be like, no. That's flavor text. It's just flavor text. You know, you'll be okay. If you get healed, you'll be okay. So no, I do this. I'll use flavor text and my players will be like, wait, really? No, it's just flavor text. Don't worry about it. So no, I don't have those narrative descriptions actually affect game mechanics, because sometimes, you know, I make something sound really cool or gruesome or awesome, but I don't actually want them to have to suffer the consequences of having lost an arm, because that can make a lot of characters unplayable. Like you just, how am I going to run my two-handed fighter with one arm? That's bad. So yeah, it doesn't usually affect it. Almost never. Jeremy Ransom, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. What advice would you give a first-time dungeon master that has been playing on and off since 2nd edition? Well, first of all, you're playing on and off. I would suggest you stop playing on and off and play more. It's a lot of fun. All right, first-time dungeon master. I get this question a lot. Advice for first-time dungeon masters. The obvious, let's state the obvious. I have an entire YouTube channel with videos that are probably going to be helpful for you. That's pretty much the focus of my channel, is to give dungeon master advice, to help dungeon masters, because very few other people do it. There are people that do it, but sometimes the advice is so theoretical and nebulous and highfalutin that you don't even know what it means in a practical way. Like, you just spent 40 minutes talking to me about dungeon master stuff, but I don't actually know what you mean, nor how I would do that in my game. So anyway, there are people that do it, but it's not always super practical. So almost all my videos have a very strong emphasis on practicality. How can you actually implement this in your game to do a thing? So check out the videos, obviously. But I would say for the first time being a dungeon master, to relax and don't worry too much. Prepare for your game. Try to make yourself feel like you're prepared, but you're still going to feel underprepared. And then relax and just have fun. It'll be okay. You'll get better as you go. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Remember that the expectations are not that high. Your players just want to play D&D. They want to get together with their friends and have fun and play the game, eat some junk food, roll dice, and kill monsters. They're probably not expecting an amazing professional game from somebody who's never been a dungeon master before. So the expectations are not as high as you think they are. People are not going to hate you and be disappointed. And if they do, then they're morons and you shouldn't play with them. So it's like your first time. Just relax and have fun. You'll get better at it. It's not a big deal. I think we put too much pressure on ourselves to like perform and be like amazing dungeon masters. And I've said this before, the bar is not that high. Like, what makes a good dungeon master is you just don't suck.
as long as you're not horrible, like that's it. You don't have to be amazing. You just have to not suck. It's not that, the bar is not that high. What are your opinions on Great Worms released in Fizzbands? In general, I think Fizzbands is an amazing resource. I haven't read the entire thing, but I've read good chunks of it, and I think it's really, really good. The Great Worms themselves, I think, just have like they have more power than the other ones and stuff. I don't remember all the details on them. I will say that overall my impression was positive, but again, without remembering all the details, I can't comment on it a whole lot. So that's pretty much all I can give you. Sorry. Do I need a full page of lore for my locations? No, you don't. Coffee's getting low, I know, but I don't have any more coffee. This is the last of the coffee. There is no more. That's all I have. Oh, Sergio Torres, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Oh, and Anonymous. Anonymous, thank you so much. $100 super chat. I so appreciate that. Thank you so much, dude. Very, very cool. Lord God, another 217 super chat. Divine Sense. Thank you. Yes. That's the only way I know how to answer that question. Wow, how much money have we raised for Canines for Warriors so far? Holy crap. We have had a tipping war. Anonymous just tipped $100 as well. I want to see how much we've actually made. How much has been raised for Canines for Warriors? Where are my goals? We are at $856 that we've raised so far to Canines for Warriors. That is so amazing. Wow. That's crazy. Oh, I already answered that one. Hello, Robert. Oh, by the way, we're doing a giveaway, everybody. I always forget to talk about our giveaway, but we are doing a giveaway. We're giving away a D&D book, or you can get store credit for the DM Lair store. You can get back issues of Lair magazine, standalone D&D adventures. We have map packs with digital maps you can use in like Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds, and we have my Into the Fae Ultimate Bundle up there as well. It's a level 1 to 5 adventure module with lots of cool fake creatures in it. So get in on the giveaway. There's a link there in the chat. We're going to be drawing the winner to the giveaway at the end of the stream, which is coming up very shortly. Anyway, Robert says, hello, I started DMing a week ago. Ooh, yay. Good job. Welcome to the DM crew of people that are dungeon masters. Your channel has helped me a lot. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad to help. Here's my question. How do you design a tavern brawl? Not lethal combat to be fun and interesting for your players. I don't know. It's just a tavern brawl. I don't think you need to put a lot of design in it, man. It's a tavern brawl. It's a fight. You know, you throw some combatants in there and have a little bit of terrain, have there be a bar that they can hide behind, have one of the guys break a bottle or something, you know, have a wave, have like a couple combatants and a wave comes in later, somebody tackles them from behind or something. I mean, there's really nothing different from designing a tavern brawl than designing any other encounter in the game. You're going to use a lot of the same techniques for designing an interesting encounter, an interesting battle that you're going to use in other things, you know, terrain, waves, perhaps, you know, tactics. A lot of it's the same, you know, so I don't think there's anything like super, you know, special about a tavern brawl. You're ultimately just going to be using your creativity to come up with things you think will make it interesting and fun for your players. Welcome to the fold. Yes. I'm losing my voice too. I talk a lot. Peter Missiles says, "Hey Luke." Hey Peter. Sorry, I'm a jerk. Any ideas for or references for turning my homebrew campaign into a hardcover book? Just to immortalize the amazing campaign we're almost done with. Yes, I can tell you how to do that if you just want to print it. Let me give you the link. I'm going to put it into the chat. I think I just put that into the chat for you. Did it go through? I don't. There it is. Okay, it went through. So that link right there will take you to Ingram Spark. They are a printer. And if you take your homebrew campaign, they can print it for you. But here's the thing. They do have special layout requirements. Like you have to lay it out in a special way in your PDF file. That is the only thing. And there are resources on their site that will give you the specifications for your PDF file and how you have to lay it out. And then they can print it out for you. Now they are a larger printer. They are actually, anytime you get something through DriveThruRPG, the print on demand feature for DriveThruRPG, it actually is coming from Ingram Spark. DriveThruRPG does not have their own printing house. They outsource everything to Ingram Spark. So you could get it at Ingram Spark. But honestly, if you're just trying to take your homebrew campaign and just get it in a hardcover book and printed, just like your notes, then you can just probably go to a local printing house and just say, hey, I have a bunch of notes. I want to get them printed. Can you print them up really quick? Now, it's not going to look nice. It's going to look about as nice as you give it to them. So if you spend a whole bunch of time making it look nice and doing layout and design and stuff, well, that's going to look as good as you give it to them. But they can print it for you, and it's not expensive. Like if you know how to do your layout in your PDF and you send it to Ingram Spark, you can get a hardcover book printed for about $20 and it'll be printed for you. Now, you have to do your own layout and design and give them the PDF and the right specifications, but they'll print it for you about $20, $5 shipping, and you have it $25. There is your book immortalized. There's your campaign setting immortalized in a hardcover book. Boom, done. Now, if you say, well, Luke, I don't know how to do the layout and stuff, well, then you're talking about contracting a graphic designer or somebody who can do interior layout. And that's a whole different beast, dude. And that's going to start costing you money. But I do know some people who do that sort of thing. But it'll cost you. I wonder, hold on a second. Let me see if I can find another somebody. Section 28, publishing. All right. I'm going to give you another link. All right. The link that I just put in the chat is Brian Donahue is a friend that I work with. He does interior layout and design for some of the stuff that I publish. And so that website right there of his, that's actually a product that he sells. It's a book that he made. But if you need help with interior layout and design, you can reach out to him and he might be able to help you. Obviously, he's going to charge you for it, but it is a resource that you can have. So, and he knows exactly how to work with Ingram Spark. And so you could give him your stuff and he could lay it out for you in the right specifications. And then you could send it to Ingram Spark. And so there's that'll work for you. That'll definitely work for you. And that'll get the ball rolling at the very least. I'm probably making it sound a lot easier than it actually is, but maybe it's not that hard. So anyway, you have some contacts now, sir, that will help you. How do you judge if you should level the players on a milestone campaign or if it's too fast? So when I'm leveling my players, I don't think that's in the spreadsheet, but I'm answering it anyway. I want my players to gain levels probably every 3 or 4 game sessions. That's a really good pace for me. We play every other week. We have a 4-hour game session, and if they're gaining a level every 3 to 4 game sessions, I think that's a good pace. They gain a level, they have some time to use the cool new stuff, they run an entire adventure, and then they complete the adventure, and then it's time they get a new level, and they get some cool stuff. They use it a little bit on an adventure for a few game sessions, and they get a new level. And if you're playing D&D every other week, and they gain a level every 3 or 4 game sessions, they will go from level 1 to level 20 in about 2 or 3 years. And I feel like that's a pretty good pace. That's what I have learned for me personally, and perhaps my groups, that feels like a good pace. But it's all just gut check and what suits your personal preferences, in all honesty. I've heard stories about a dungeon master who only leveled people up once a year. Once a year you gained levels. Now that's horrible. Simpatico says, he lies. We've been level 8 for like 8 sessions. Trevor, that's because you guys are taking a long time in Amber Temple. If you guys would stop long resting in the middle of dungeons and go a little bit quicker and get to your objective, you might gain a level. Gavin Rocker says 1 adventure, 1 level. That's usually how I do it. Usually, not always, but usually. Bryce, hello, what's up, dude? Hey, Luke, I wanted to say that I love watching your videos. Well, thank you, dude. I appreciate that. Thanks for stopping in. Celestina got called out? Oh, I got called out. Yes, I did get called out, Celestina. I totally did. C. Zachary called out, LOL. Hey, Simpaticos, stop calling me out. Okay, you know what, Simpaticos? Your character's dead now. Who's your character? No. You want your character to die. No. Your character's not dead. Your character will now never die. Your character has plot. Your character has like plot armor or something. He will never die in the game, and you will have to play your barbarian for the rest of Curse of Strahd, even though you don't want to, even though you want him to die. That is your punishment for daring to call me out on my own live stream. Ooh, he pulled your legal name. Yeah, we're gonna do the giveaway in just a little bit. We're very close to it. Do it right now. Do the giveaway right now. Go sign up for it. We're about to do it. We're literally gonna do it in just a tiny bit. That was very nebulous. We're literally gonna do it in a tiny bit. Lucas, hello. Hi to Brazil. Thanks for joining us, dude. Luke's player knowledge is OP. I know my players a little bit. Bye, Celestina. Thanks for hanging out with us. Melikor, dude, yeah, you're late. We're about to end. All right. I think we're going to do the giveaway. All right, here we go. Here we go for the giveaway. Drawing the winners to the giveaway. We're drawing the winners right now. I warned you. warned you.
All right, I have a winner. I need to verify this winner. I need to make sure that they're a legitimate winner. All right, I think so. The dream's gone. Are you here? The dream's gone. You don't have to be here to win, but if you are here, we would like you to say hello. Yeah, there they are. Hello, dream's gone. You have won. Congratulations. You won the giveaway. I'm going to be sending you an email probably tonight, a little bit, maybe tomorrow. So check your email, and then we'll get you hooked up with something. It'll be spectacular. You're going to be very, very excited and happy. Yeah. All right. We're going to, oh, you know what? I think Peak D&D is streaming right now. So I'm going to, let me see if they're streaming, because if they are, we're going to go crash them. Yes, they are. Stand by.
Kind of meta, I guess.
All right. I need to copy that. Okay, cool. I am going to put a link to Peak D&D in the chat. There it is. I want everyone to go there and say hi to them. Everyone go over to Peak D&D and say hi. We're crashing them. We are rating them. We are just be nice human beings. They're my friends. I really like them. All right. So be fun and nice to them. And I'm leaving. It's been wonderful. Thank you to everyone who was so generous with your tips and super chats. I really, really appreciate that. It's very, very cool. And we will see you next time. I'm outie. Love you. Bye.